Hi, and welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings with me, your host, Lawrence. And let me tell you, I thought I wasn't going to have much to say or talk about. It didn't seem like there was much news. And let me say, as I went through the slides, I created some slides, and then more breaking news. Things kept breaking. Well, not things, but a pretty big thing, a couple big things. We're going to get into it all, and we're going to hit the topic. And there's so much stuff, I think, really to talk about, which is great because, listen, doing this for 3 hours all by myself, even I have to find things to ramble on about. I mean, I can always find stuff to ramble on about, but is it going to be stuff that you guys are actually interested in? So, looks like we got 7 people in the chat. Is there something else going on? Is there anyone doing a live stream? I have a G.I. Joe team on there. I mean, come on, dude. We need to get a few more people in here. Which, for some odd reason, it seems like StreamYard looks like it's acting slower for me over here. Because as I look over here, I can see that there is more going on. So anyway, let's just get into it. I got some stuff to talk about, as I always do. So first off, let me mention Punks on Film. We did last week. We did Commando. Had a great time. It doesn't look like there's a lot of people watching it live, but it does look like there are people watching it on the replay, which is actually pretty cool. I will be putting up the vote for the 5 movies that we're going to vote on probably tomorrow. But next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday, we're going to be watching Revenge of the Nerds. We're talking about Revenge of the Nerds. So go ahead, watch it, and then shoot on over. And then we're going to chat about it Thursday, 10 o'clock p.m. Matthew, myself, and who knows. Eventually, we may start bringing in some other guests. And I think we got a lot of the technical difficulties worked out. By we, I mean, well, me. So you guys have probably all seen the toy haul that I picked up. So let's just quickly go over it. I did get He Skeletor. As you can see, I continue to kind of mess around with this guy. Threw on Keldor's cape. I gotta get rid of the other one. But I got Keldor floating around here somewhere. You know, I used his head. The blue doesn't exactly match up, but I think it looks really nice. I did pick up Broadway and his giant wings, his popcorn, and then he's got his mace and his axe, and they go together, different things like that. And then we have this guy, Duban, right? Duban. It's kind of funny. I do believe I did ask to correct me if I said it wrong, Duban, because I said Dubin, Dubbin. I didn't know Duban. A lot of people want to correct me. I wonder if people go and correct people that say figure and not figure, because that word is said way more than Duban. But I digress. Anyway, let's get into the chat. Let's see who is in the chat right now. Radical Toys was here earlier. We got Matthew Matson, the moderator. He is almost always hearing what he says goes. Cobra Commander, not Commander of Cobra. We got the Super Tisso, if I said that right. The only issue I see with G.I. Joe is that it's perfect with no issues. Well, you are wrong, my friend, but we're going to talk about that. We got Necro 216. We got David R. in the house. We got Viper Scout. And then we got Scruty, Alice, and Troy. We got Banditone 00. And then we have Commander of Cobra. You know, we need to have a battle between Commander of Cobra and Cobra Commander. I can tell you, both of you are ahead of Serpentor, who I'm just not a fan of at all. And we got our first super chat. Thank you to Articulated Chad. The issue with the G.I. Joe brand, there's plenty. You are absolutely correct. There is so much, and honestly, it doesn't even, I'm not even talking so much about what they are giving us. It's all the stuff they don't give us, or don't understand, or what Hasbro doesn't understand. Maybe Mattel will give us some better G.I. Joes. We got PNC Games in the house, and then we got, let's see, Rich Murphy. You doing like a shirtless photo shoot right now? And then we got my nemesis, Bees Battleground. I know he always has, I don't want to say complaints, because hey, you know what? Sometimes we have complaints about things, but it's more just it's a criticism of what they could be. Let's see. It says they aren't and aren't lengthy. Yeah, okay. So this is what happens when you jump in the chat and there's already stuff going. All right. So quickly, let me talk. So something finally happened, and I was actually kind of shocked. So when I was picking up my Broadway over here, I see Anthony. Anthony is in the house. Action figures. Thank you. It's not that hard. There's actually the UR right there. Oh, to each their own. Okay, some people can't speak the English language. I screw up some words, just not the word I say 45 times in a 5-minute period. Anyway, so it did happen last week when I was picking up Broadway over here, and I'm kind of chatting with the toy owner who I've gotten to know a little bit. And he says something to another customer, and he says, "Hey, you know what? This guy's a YouTuber." And listen, I kind of got it skateboarding. People would see me, just come up to me that didn't know me, because they would see me at Modern Skate on their Instagram or different things like that. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I know who he is." And I don't know if he was just kind of saying it at first to, so I wouldn't feel bad that he said it. And he's like, "Yeah, you're a punk with toys, right?" I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, and he's like, "No offense, I'm not like starstruck. I'm not gonna run over to you." I'm like, "Thank you," because I don't like, cause I'm just some dumb YouTuber that's willing to put my face out on the face out there on YouTube. So that finally happened. It was kind of, it was fun. Him and I had a pretty good chat. So pretty cool. And actually, I've had a few other guys recently just kind of hit me up when they saw where I was shopping at. So it's great. The show is growing. I absolutely love it. We're close to 2,000. Close to 2,000 subscribers, which is really just a pat on the back. It doesn't really mean much. It's all about people that are actually watching. And then Action Fix is in the house. I watched him last night. Very interesting. I love when I find out other toy collectors were in the military. I was not. But I love when you hear other collectors were in the military, and that's why they enjoy some of the lines. And hell, looking at this right now, I can see 3 right there in the chat that were in the military, or actually are in the military. All right, so Bees, this one is for you. Bees Battleground. If you're not following Bobby Bees Battleground, you need to. He's part of the Better Business Bureau. So with a Broadway comes this chicken or turkey, but we can call it chicken drumstick anyway. So he made a comment on my video that he's never wanted a chicken drumstick prop so much. And honestly, I kept looking at it, and I'm just like, man, you know what? I really want KFC now. Like, I just wanted chicken. And then I have this obsession with watching the little cute dancers on TikTok or on Instagram. And the one girl dances in front of the original KFC. That same day, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, right? You gotta be kidding me. Like, it's just like, boom, more KFC. And I go and drop my son off at work the next day. This is Friday. I'm like, you know what? I'm running a KFC. Call my daughter up. Listen, chicken's expensive nowadays. Well, actually, everything's expensive. Tell her to turn the oven on so we can make some tater tots. Get home, throw the tater tots in. We're eating chicken. Tell her to pick out a movie. We pick out Free Guy. Listen, I'm cheap or poor or broke. I don't know what I am. I just don't have a lot of money. Let's just say. Ooh, PNC. That is. Listen, those 11 herbs and spices are so wonderful. Ooh, the original recipe. I don't know what you are talking about. So anyway, we're watching Free Guy, which is on Disney Plus, and the commercial comes on, and the first commercial that comes on is KFC. And I'm like, I look at my daughter and I'm like, dude, they are so watching us. Like they are so listening to everything. Then it goes back to the movie, and then I completely forgot that the owner of the company, he uses KFC as an analogy, and I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like all this KFC, all because of this one little drumstick, and because B had to make a comment about it. So it was my little story about the KFC. So enough with that. Oh my god, I'm kind of seeing some of the chat now. I got some KFC going. Let's see. Commander of Cobra says, speaking of KFC, there's a guy around me who has a giant KFC bucket in his jet. That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. You know, I tell you what, I did this before. I have this amazing picture of this guy in Detroit, and I got it while driving. I'm gonna have to pull it up. I have to find it, and we're gonna break it down. Maybe next week. It is awesome. You guys will die laughing. Every person at work, my kid's mom, she laughed. It's every now and pops up in my Facebook memories, and it just it brings me back to that little time. Anyway, so I want to quickly. So last week on A Toy Kind of Mood, they were talking wrestling, and let's just say, listen, good guys, but I don't think they really enjoy some of my humor, I guess you could say. Some people think it's too early to make comments about the awful demises of some people, I guess you could say, but I think it's funny. And I always say that it's never too soon. And listen, when I pass away, if people weren't making jokes about it, then I expect you to. But anyway, I made the comment about what I think, and I think this is going to be a topic that I'm going to touch on next week, depending on how much we have going on, is one of the problems with, I believe, the Mattel crowdfunding, and I don't think text was coming over right, is when Mattel did the Eternia crowdfunding, nobody knew when they were going to get charged for it. All right? And this is what I was trying to explain to them. I go, now, Travis had said that if you can do it in 4 installments. Now, they didn't have this set up, but it doesn't charge you until it funds. But what Mattel does is that they charge you once it once it hits the goal, then they charge you. And people were really scared with Eternia, although it funded really quickly. Where Hasbro and other crowdfunders, other crowdfunding projects, they charge you at the end. Once it's done and it's met its goal, that's when they charge you. And I think that's how it should be. So I think that some of these Mattel ones, like this WCW entrance, I think people are worried because, if you know that it's going to charge in 45 days if it funds, you have time to put your funds together or, say, hey, I'm not going to buy this, I'm not going to buy that. But if it funds right away and you don't have the funds, and again, $400 and probably $450 after everything, it's to me, I think it's a failure. That his tank, everyone could jump on it because it didn't matter. They had how many days before it was going to charge to them. So that was what I like. If Travis, maybe I should. If I say Travis wrestling 3 times, does he just mysteriously pop up? Because he did last time. He's like Beetlejuice. Let's see. Allison says, I legit would punch someone out for one of those chicken sandwiches right now. They really were punch. I really would punch someone out good. That first sandwich had, however, not a fan. Ugh, fish. Ugh. Wow. Mr. Cheeseburger, I have not seen you in quite some time since I think the whole Geek Dad Life debacle where everyone was calling you a troll. It's good to see you. Good to see you back here. Um, so anyway, that was it. Let's get into. Let's see. Did I have anything else that I wanted to discuss before we get into the slides? Oh yeah. Well, there was one bit of news that came over, and we're going to quick touch on it because we really know what it means. I can't even pull it up because I freeze up. I hate this. All right. So anyway, I'm getting rid of this. All right. I froze up because I was going to pull up the TNI, or Toy News International, but they have too many pop-ups. So anyway, it looks like Hasbro and Mattel are doing a collab with specific, with different properties. And from what I quickly read through there, it looks like some of the issues, some of the things are going to be like Transformers, Uno, Barbie. It's kind of surprising that it took this long. I mean, how we've seen Marvel and DC do comic book crossover, so it's not something that you just can't imagine that would happen. But it is something that it makes you kind of wonder, like, what could they do? Considering Transformers has now tinkled with G.I. Joe, and they're doing the G.I. Joe Transformer crossover, could you have a Transformer, Masters of the Universe crossover? I mean, I think that would be pretty cool. Probably be highly expensive. And I mean, is this something that could help, Hasbro kind of see their error and be like, hey, you know what? Maybe we need to bring down our prices. Ashton Humara, hi there. Nice to see you. I'm going to apologize if I said that I don't remember seeing you before, but I don't remember seeing you. And if I have, then I apologize. A Barbie Cobra officer, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I mean, we've seen worse Barbies, right? Barbie Lady J and Barbie Scarlet. It's a shame that they only want to do board game licenses and Hot Wheels and Transformers. Well, it's all that's been announced so far. And let's be honest, other than the board games, what does Mattel have to offer? What does Mattel have to offer Hasbro? The Hot Wheels and Barbie. I mean, those would be the big ones. I mean, you wouldn't be talking about anything with Motu. I think Mattel could benefit a lot from what Hasbro has with the Transformers. G.I. Joe, I would assume they're not going to let anyone touch, but there are some crossovers that you could probably do. And yeah, Ashton, we can finally get Hot Wheel Transformers. That was one of the things in the press release that they did specifically discuss is Transformer Hot Wheels. And again, if I try and bring it up, it freezes everything, so I'm not even going to bother. Oh boy, that's it. Mr. Cheeseburger. I'm going to read this, and if you agree with GDL, you don't push back, don't ask any questions, then you're fine in the comments. I ask questions. I want a deeper explanation, not just slandering a company with opinions and no facts. Okay, so I don't really want to go back to that, but again, I would just say that I had seen you on the stream here like the week before, so I didn't think you were trolling because you specifically had talked about it. And I remember because you had sent me a super chat, so it had really, it stuck out. And I know what you were asking, but after a while, it does become as you're kind of trolling them. And again, I don't think that you were. I think you were trying to get legitimate questions. But you have to understand, when you start getting into the chat that's that big, and you're the only one that's bringing back that topic, it turns into something like that. So Marvin McBride is here. It's nice to see you. Again, I don't remember ever seeing you, and I apologize if I have. or if you have been here. Let's see, PNC, both Nerf and G.I. Joe are owned by Hasbro, yes. That's what happens when you accidentally click something. So let's get into, I should probably get my slides back to where they need to be. And let's get into some of the news. Although, okay, well, there's still a little bit of talk here. So Ashton says, have you played within Transformers Legends class or any Hot Wheel track sets? No, I'm not a Transformers fan. I'm not a Transformer collector. I like Transformers, and I think they're really cool. Although when my son had Transformers when he was, younger, oh my God, like they were just, I would transform it, and I'd be like, you get this for a week. And then you want to change it back, you want to change it to a robot, and I'll change it in a week. I'm not going to continue to do it. Hot Wheel tracks I haven't played with since I was a kid. I think that stuff is awesome. I really do. It kind of reminds me of like model trains. Like if you have a passion for that and you can set up, and again, Chad would love this. It is world building when you do tracks and the different types of housing displays and stuff like that. So I think I think they're awesome. Let's see, Boba Wave, what's up, Punk? Nice seeing you. And we got Backwoods in the house. I gotta say, I love when like on Chad's show or whenever Chad's on and I make a comment or even like what's the other show? A Toy Kind of Mood, when they refer to me by my name. And I swear people are like, who the hell is Lawrence? There's no Lawrence in the chat. But again, you should be watching my show, so you should know who I am. Although, was it on Toy Habits? I tried wishing Allison a happy birthday and wasn't paying attention. And when the Toy Sorceress read it, she read it because I posted on my personal account. And yet she couldn't figure out my name, my last name, which isn't a very hard one. It's literally 2 words put together. Anyway, and Super Tissa says, I only have interest in non-Transformers. Fans of the third-party toy makers, the official stuff is just so lame. Again, I don't really look at them. I mean, I kind of see them because anytime like Tidarian Hanger comes up, his live stream, I'm just like, holy shit, there's a lot of Transformers. Knockoff ones, official ones, Super 7 ones that transform, some that don't transform, some that are robots and mechanical. Like it's one of those things. I'm like, I'm glad I don't collect Transformers because, wow, there's so many of them. Listen, I think that if you gave me a classic style GoBots, just classic ones, Leader One, Sidekill, I'd probably pick those up. As bad as GoBots were and how lame as they were, they have a catchy theme song. And Leader One is actually, I mean, he's such a dork that he's kind of cool. But Sidekill, when they turn him into and he looks real, like a real Transformer, he actually looks pretty badass. A Cobra Commander in skeleton colors would be awesome. But here's the whole thing. If you did a Cobra Commander in Skeletor, you probably have to remove the hood just so you can have the mask. Because what if that hood fell too far, and some people might think that it's the Ku Klux Klan. We don't want that. Let's see. Is it live stream or live stream? I'm not sure. All right. So let's just get into some of the news. Rich Murphy says he loved the GoBots too. Man, they were so cheesy. I didn't realize they were so bad. Can you guys hear that? There's someone at the door. You guys can probably guess who that is. Let's get him in just to make him happy. There's only one kid right now. Come on, buddy. I know. You're making. Oh, okay. Say hi. I know. Go spend time with Olivia. All right. He's making his entrance early today. Really early today. All right. Go sit down, buddy. I know. No, you've gone out a bunch of times. I made sure you went out. So go. Go. Oh, you're off. Hold on. Let me, you'd think that she would hear him screaming, right? Or barking and screaming. Yes, it's cute, isn't it? It's cute. Did you order any of those blue brain head cobras from Walmart? I attempted to order 4. Yes, I do. I do have 2 of them on order. And they've already charged me, but that's only because I use PayPal. This jumped down really quick. Jeffrey Smith is in the house. Let's see. Allison says, I love the GoBots, Lawrence. They were cheaper than Transformers. They were smaller. You can get the 3, 4. You can get 3 or 4 of the carded ones for one price of the Transformers. Also, they were girl GoBots. And I never understood why there's like the sexes of GoBots. I mean, or Transformers, you know, like RC. I never really understood that. They are robots. But hey, you know what? I guess. All right. So anyway, so Smash Guitars, nice seeing you. Again, I love having all these, you know, people in the chat. 36 people watching. Hey, make sure you hit that like button. It does help the algorithm. Okay, I saw the pup. I'm leaving now. Hey, dude, you need to come back because, hey, you're one of the people I do talk about the issues with some of this G.I. Joe. Anyway, let's get into what I was trying to show before someone came and interrupted me. So, quickly, Haya has shown off a little look of what I believe is a 4-inch Rambo modern construction. I know this makes articulated Chad extremely happy as that's what he collects. Now I do have the 6-inch one on. I do have the 6-inch one on pre-order. We'll see if I keep it or not. I think it's around $80, so kind of pricey. But I think that it would fit in with the G.I. Joe line pretty well. You could also use them as Rocky, which unfortunately we never got. But that was it. This is the Haya toy. This was the only shot that we got of them. I just kind of wanted to throw that one in. And then, I guess I should talk about it. It popped up today. So the NECA Goliath. Now this is an homage. And so this is the Rock Goliath. This is when he's actually changing. Oh, quickly. Backwoods, where it's the 6-inch Rambo at. If you go to BBTS, I know they have it. It's done by Haya. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Haya. Like I said, I want to say that it's around, I think it was $80. It's expensive. A lot of accessories. So it looks like you're going to get your money's worth. But, I mean, hell, we spend a lot of money on toys. So we have issues. So anyway, this popped up today, and we all knew it was coming. So this is just a repaint, but this is as he's turning to stone. I think it looks good in some ways, and I think it looks bad in some ways. And I see Matthew saying right now that new Gargoyle looks trash. It's a video game version. It said that on the BB. Yeah, we're going to get to that. I kind of agree with you that it kind of looks like trash in some ways. Now, again, it is just a repaint, but here's where I think it would be awesome, is if NECA gave you this prop right here. All right, so if they give you this prop that he's holding on to, I said it before, the NECA photography is absolutely amazing on their boxes, but we don't have the props. So yeah, I'm not saying those props would make you do great photography, but it sure the hell does help out. I would absolutely love to see some of these props. So if you have something like this, you could actually make it look like, you know what, he had changed to stone. And here's the back of it. Now, he does come with the draped wings, so you don't have to buy, you know, a stone Bronx to get the draped wings. So maybe they're learning their lesson. Again, just another repaint. This is where he's obviously angry. Again, something like this would look absolutely awesome. I think like this would get me to maybe buy something like this. Matthew says, damn it, if I had the prop, I might have to get it. Yes. It's not hard to get you to buy toys, Matthew, just in case you didn't know that. But it looks really good, and I just like the backscape, the background is just, that's something any of us could do. Okay, so it's not stone, it's the video game. Okay. I know that I thought it was stone. Okay. Now I know that it is an homage to the video game. Now this backdrop you can get, because I do believe this is their alleyway, which I wish I would have bought when I had more money. You people want me to keep getting Mythic Legions, yet no one wants to pay for the Mythic Legions. Everyone wants me to buy them. They are nice, though. They are absolutely nice. Until you have one, I didn't fully understand what people were saying. And like, I love this pose. Like this here, like if you gave me this backdrop, you just did. Yeah, B says it is the NECA street diorama. That's what I thought. I believe you can still get it. I think it's like $110. But yeah, if you gave like this and you made it so you could mount it, let's say, to your wall, so it's just kind of sitting there, it would be absolutely awesome. I think people would love to buy something like that. So I guess, yeah. See, I thought this was him turning to stone. So here's what he comes with. He comes with both heads that we already have, the giant wings, and then the draped wings. Doesn't look like he has any accessories. I guess that would kind of make sense. Let's see. This looks like my ex's new wife. Alice, I've caught you making jokes about your ex. I think ex is I'm sorry, your ex mother-in-law too. So it's kind of I know that nasty side of people. So let's see here, and then so the next thing is this is the box, which is really cool. NECA Goliath. Now I'm not sure if everyone is going to get it. Yes, Eddie Rodriguez, it is cold-blooded. She said something way worse than that. I don't remember what it was. I just remember going, "Oh damn," which is fine. Hey, you know what? You don't need to always like your exes or your ex's family. Although I love my ex's family, to be honest. I still get along with my ex, so. But what this is an homage to the Genesis video game. So I like it, but I'm not an in-box collector. But the one thing about NECA that's just so cool is that you can just set the boxes. Like I have some back here. I don't know what to do with the new two, with the next two that I just got, but I think it looks super cool. I love what they did with this. Not everyone deserves the experience, the softer side of Sears or Allison. Oh God, Allison, sometimes you make me laugh about some stuff. All right. So now a little bit of McFarlane news. Now, I'm not exactly sure what this is. Obviously, Batman, Robin, and a Batgirl. There's so many different Batmans. Handsome Head Injury has entered the chat. I think it looks cool. I don't think it looks bad, but I think the other gargoyles are just so good. And Super T says the NECA gargoyle is so cool, but they all suffer from the same issues. The issue being their wings make having this display so obnoxious to ever realistically own. Well, that's why they're giving you all those draped wings. I'm gonna say this about while we're still on it. I don't have an issue. I have not had any issues with the wings being as big as they are. And there's some issues with them being too heavy and falling. But with Brooklyn, I hate the wings. They are completely straight out. And if you watch my review, you probably see myself, me hit a few things, but good Lord, those things hit absolutely everything. I try to move it downstairs. I'm trying to put it in my display. I'm knocking over figures that have been standing there for like 2 weeks that aren't even moving. It's crazy. Yeah. And Jeffrey Smith says, is McFarlane just making up DC stuff to sell? I don't know. I would probably say no. He has enough to do that with Spawn, right? So I'm sure this comes from somewhere. But I could be completely wrong. And hey, BMW Rhino. He just showed up. All right, so the next one is Vampire Superman. Now, I have some issues with Vampire Superman. And I forget what show I was watching. They're talking about how wonderful, and I think it looks really good. Like the head looks absolutely awesome. It looks absolutely awesome, but I have a couple issues with Vampire Superman. I don't know if he's in the comics, and I don't care. And I've said this about a few like undead figures. Like, hey, could Wolverine really become a zombie? Right? He doesn't really die, nor does Deadpool. Right? Could you really make them into zombies? Right? Or vampires? Right? When their healing factors fight it off. Well, Superman, how would you even penetrate his skin? I mean, they've shown that you can't penetrate it. But what is the other problem with Vampire Superman? That his power comes from the sun. And vampires can't go in the sun. So, as cool as I think this face does look, I have to say, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I do think it looks cool, other than that I never had an issue with pinless. I didn't think you always needed it, but the more and more I see it, it's like, good Lord, go to pinless design. And I don't think anyone's doing customs of your figures because, you have a new one coming out before you even get a chance to. Yeah, so let's see here. And then there's a new Flash. Now, this was the gold label. I think they said this was a BBTS exclusive, and I think it already sold out. And I just threw this in there because it was right there with it. But it does come with the alternate head. Again, it's hard to keep track of what the Flash is supposed to look like, what Batman is supposed to look like. There's been so many different versions of them, and I know what Superman's supposed to look like. I know what Wonder Woman's supposed to look like. But Barry Allen, I mean, again, I've never understood how there can be so many different speedsters in DC Universe. Just like I don't understand how there can be so many Spider-Men in Marvel. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Quickly, let's see what is the chat saying here. And it says McFarlane always has cool looking renders, but every single one of the figures always looks the same to me. I agree. I agree in many ways. Okay, he's in the comic. Yeah. And then let's see is it McFarlane or McFarland? It's McFarland. It's Uncle Todd to you. I just refer to him as Uncle Todd. I like Todd's toys better, although he couldn't use that. Yeah, it's cool, but I don't understand the figure Superman. I agree. Kryptonite teeth. Says vampire blood couldn't last in Superman's sun-infused blood. That's what it seems like. But if you do remember, he also shouldn't be able to impregnate Lois Lane, and that made Brody extremely upset when someone tried to say that he could, because he'd need a kryptonite condom, which would kill him. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Mallrats and go back to Punks on Film and watch our first episode, which, if I remember correctly, our second episode did not have technical difficulties there. Yes, you're right. In multiverses, there are no limits. I gotta say that I do like the multiverses idea of different things. Like you can just have different universes where it doesn't really matter. And with some things, like you can integrate them. The Marvel universe, you can integrate them. Obviously, the DC universe, you can integrate them. But I think with some, like if you did a G.I. Joe one, like you can't really integrate it unless if it's the one wacky cartoon that they did. Mr. Wonderful, nice to see you again. I love Paul Orndorff. Him and his small little arm from the torn bicep. What time is it, guys? Let's see. It's always the chat's getting or the viewership's going up here. It seems to always go up after 10 o'clock. So it's good that it's going up now, and we're pacing it. So let's see after this. So this is Mafex, I'm not sure exactly. Now I just threw in Aquaman because, Aquaman is stupid. I'm sorry. I don't care how great a shape Jason Momoa is. He can't help Aquaman. And a matter of fact, the Aquaman movie was so bad that it was good. My daughter and I watched it, and I have to say, we absolutely laughed our asses off because it was so bad. Lois Lane knows all about the back of VW. All right. You know what? You just made me laugh. You get the laugh award for the night for sure. And you know what? It'd probably be better because you wouldn't have to worry about him impregnating her that way either. So anyway, here's Aquaman again. Jason Momoa again. This movie was so bad. What are you looking at? Roman, since you brought him up, he almost got a squirrel today. I was wondering what he was looking at. I look outside and he's looking at the step of my back door, and he was trying to look in the back, like behind the recycling bin, which was pinned up, and I didn't know what it was. I was scared it was a baby skunk, but I got him in. I opened it, and squirrel took off. So he has gotten a groundhog before, which you ever see a groundhog fly about 10 feet in the air? Oof. It's very interesting. Hold on 1 second really quick. But yeah. What are you going on? Take him out, please. All right, chat, keep on going. Yeah, I just need to turn my fan on. It's getting like super hot in this room. I'm gonna dread when the summer comes and there'll be like 15 people in here because everyone's out doing stuff on a Monday. But anyway, the figure looks decent. It's Mafex. I mean, it looks decent for what Aquaman is. There are the different faces. And actually, I think it looks kind of stupid. But what I really want, I think he comes with the mother box. A small board cube, or maybe it's the Hellraiser. Maybe it's the Hellraiser one. Oh man, where's All right, but I want to throw in this because Ahsoka was in here. Now I know we got the Ahsoka Black Series, but Mafex does some really nice stuff. I've actually never had one. I watched some of the reviews on them. I got a buddy that has a few of them, and he really likes them. But again, they are expensive. Just like you're going to be looking at a pricier figure when you get into your what's that other one? Was it really pricey? The other pricey figure. Yeah, I don't care. But this one looks really good. They capture her face pretty well. Now this is clearly the movie one. That looks like she's got some soft goods. She's got the white lightsabers, which is cool. I think it looks nice. Here she is kind of walking. Let me see here. I didn't even see pay and leave here. Oh, Payne says, good night, all. All right. And quickly here, was about to ask what we were going to watch, and I just remembered Chad said he'd see me tonight, which triggered me joining in here. All right. And let's see here. There's a few things. Let's see. I like you through an empty bottle to see Justice League. The movie's awful. I don't care. Like, you cannot justify that as a good movie. It is absolutely trash. Mr. Wonderful, it was here in 3PL, but I haven't finished Mando yet, so skipped it altogether. Ooh, I don't know what Axion. I don't know what you are talking about or who you're replying to, but now I have interest. And says, yeah, I've not watched any Mando. I know, but you should watch Picard season 3 because it's better. So here, I'm not a big fan of like this face that she has. I do like the way the pants look. You know, it kind of has that MC Hammer pant look. You know, you can do some really cool stop motion MC Hammer dancing with it, and you do have the two different lengths of the blade. And who knows how long it took to get this this cloak over her to look good. You know, that's, again, it's one of the things that I absolutely, when I do my reviews and I try and show people, how difficult it is right out of the box. Because so many people, will show you, oh, look at this, great pose that they can get in. It's kind of funny. Axion had talked about it last night. Am I saying it right? Tell me if I'm saying it right, because I heard the whole talk that you guys had yesterday. But I mean, again, people spend a lot of time really doing, these really nice edited professional videos, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I mean, I know people want to see how hard is it going to be right out of the box, and that's what I try and give you guys. And so here are the two different blades. Obviously, you can see that the sabers are different, so the hilts are different, which is nice. That they're not just throwing the exact same thing that we got, or they're just getting the same one. That's what I mean. But then here comes this one even has me thinking, like, I might even want to invest in this Lord Vader. I think it looks really nice, and I have to say, because of his body and the suit that he's wearing, it tends to hide a lot of the articulated points. That's it. All good, man. You're saying it like everyone else does. I want to say it like it's supposed to be pronounced. Axion figures. All right, is that good? Axion figures. Man, I'm not gonna say figure too many times because it's gonna start sounding like something else. So there's Darth Vader. It looks really nice. Again, I threw it up here. I'm not a Star Wars collector. I do have a few, but I don't really collect it. But there's a few things that I really liked. And like I said, like looking at the suit here, really the only articulated points that you see are in the elbows, because the suit really hides it so well. Again, do I want to spend $100 on this? Now, I really liked the look of the lightsaber that's that the blade is looking like it's while he's swinging. So I do like that. It's something different. It's something Hasbro could give people, but God forbid they give extra accessories when it comes to the Black Series. And it's disappointing. And so here you can see the different lightsabers. It looks like it's not just a plug-in. You actually get the whole hilt and blade. So Michael had, hey Punk, I'm a little late. I'm talking Mythic Legions and what you're buying next. Well, you are you tuned in just in time because we're getting to the Four Horsemen pretty quickly here. Um, I don't have anything that I want to get right now. I am looking at pre-ordering a couple. I do have the headless horseman on order. I have a thing for glow in the dark, and it looks awesome. I think it actually looks better. Most people said the same thing, that they think this headless horseman that came out looks better, and I tend to agree. And that is not knocking the other one because the other one looked absolutely amazing. I know Matthew thinks I should get the horse to go with Dubin, or I don't know, but that's like $75. Let's see. Alice says I like both the fancy high produced toys photos from fans as well as low res. How it really looks when it's in my house. And hello, Giraffe. I know I've seen you. I think you've been here. I know I've seen you on a few other streams. It's great to have you. I love that we're getting more and more of the regulars. If you guys notice that, we're getting a lot more people. So anyway, that is the Moth Facts. I just quickly wanted to go over that. B, I hope you're still in here because I sent this to you. So if anyone knows, Ramen has been doing the circuit. And as I mentioned, probably the only Twitch channel he won't do this because I haven't had any guests. And as of now, I don't really know if I'm going to have guests on this show. I'd be more than happy to do another show where I have guests or I have a co-host. A matter of fact, that's kind of why, I'm doing Punks on Film with Matthew. So, Ramen, obviously, he talked about it. He did have an issue with Paramount. They put a big kibosh. They said they were trying to work things out. I have a feeling that this was always in the works, that if he couldn't get that Maverick figure out. Now, B tended to say the same thing. It just doesn't look as good. It's the exact same body from what I can tell. But I think, now that Burt Reynolds, I would say it looks more like Burt Reynolds and Tom Selleck. But I could see both. But you could see it being both. But I don't think it looks as good, and I think that's because the head of Tom Cruise looks so much like Pete Mitchell. Tom Cruise, obviously, Maverick. And again, I don't think this looks bad. Banditone says that looks great. I agree. I think the body looks great. But here's the thing that I don't think, in my opinion, that I need is I don't think I really need a pilot in my G.I. Joe figures. Now, a Maverick, Pete Mitchell, that I wanted. That I really did want. But again, now that you guys said it looks like Burt Reynolds. I see Burt Reynolds more than Commissioner Reagan from Blue Bloods. And yes, I do watch Blue Bloods. As a matter of fact, guys, Chad, you guys, if you guys are listening, I need you guys to start finishing up on Fridays by 10 so I can tune into Blue Bloods. And what Allison said, it looks like Burt and Tom had a chance encounter 28 years later, Jolly Roger. All right. You guys are mean people. But I laugh. And then here's a different shot of him with the helmet on. Again, I just think it doesn't look as good because, we were looking at Tom Cruise. And I think a lot of people want a Tom Cruise, a Maverick figure. Not Tom Cruise, a Maverick figure that is going to, fit in with the line and everything. Ooh, you know what? It does kind of look like Freddie Mercury. If we go back here, I can definitely see Freddie Mercury there. See now, ooh, you know who it looks like? It looks like Bennett. That looks like Bennett from Commando. Now, we all know because some of us just watched it. Um, now I want a Bennett figure with, obviously, a Dutch. And Palpatine has joined. I sent a great disturbance in classified. I don't know. There is someone, I guess, that threw out a video that they're, is it dead? It looked like clickbait to me, so I didn't watch it. All right. And then this was thrown out, and this is, the Valiverse. I forget the name of the vehicle. So obviously this is supposed to be a gunner's position. I don't fully understand it, to be honest. It looks like it's a little thin in some ways, but again, this is one gunner sitting right in the back, and they put the Wasp, or I forget what they are. I've kind of gotten over Valiverse. I know, I've collected almost every single one of them, but I'm tired of, 3 body molds, and that's it for 2.5 years. I'm not. I actually started selling off some of them. Hopefully, some of the newer figures, I have no connection to them, and to be honest, like I'm just getting Sentry. Okay, the Swarm Sentry. Swarm Senti. It's the Vanguard. Okay. Yeah. I've just started to kind of grow bored with Valiverse, to be honest. I know Axion was talking about it. They do have great articulation, but every single figure is the exact same. Every armor is the exact same thing. I've just kind of gotten over them. I really have. Some of the figures I'm definitely going to keep. Some of them are going to sell. Some of them aren't even worth what what they cost, which is good because he's producing enough that everyone should be able to get them. But I've just kind of grown old. I've kind of grown stale of spending $32 on the exact same figure that we just got. But this is going to be the vehicle, and I've talked about this before. I think this is going to be a $200 vehicle, and then I think what's going to happen is there are going to be there's going to be add-ons that are going to be like $50 to $75, or maybe even $100 that you can add on. That he can still say, "Hey, I got a vehicle out for $200, cheaper than everyone else." But if you want it to look, if you want it fully loaded, then hey, you know what? This is what you're going to need to do. Yes, let off some steam, Bennett. That's going back. Let's see. I don't need this pilot. An ace would be cool. An ace would be cool, yes. But even his suit is not even close to a realistic flight suit. He's got a glass dome for a helmet, for crying out loud. Well, it's because, Sky Strikers went in space. Don't you remember that awful cartoon? Let's see here. Super T says, I don't like the Valiverse females, and that's it. They all look the same to me. Trigger looks cool. I love Trigger. Trigger is my favorite Valiverse figure, but they aren't different enough to collect them all. And you know what? That's kind of where I've come to with them. And I like them because they fit in with classified, but now there are so many G.I. Joe figures, and we're getting army builders. I don't really need so many. I think Blowback is an amazing figure. I like the Dork Side exclusive. Again, Trigger I think is awesome. I absolutely love Trigger. The Desert Rat is garbage as far as I'm concerned. I'm hoping that the Trigger the Trigger head sculpt, the new one that's coming out, will fit on the Desert Rat. So hopefully I can use that. But again, like some of them, I wanted Condor because they look like Airborne. We're eventually going to get Airborne. But there's a new Condor coming out, which I actually, just from the basic looking at it, I think it kind of looks better. The other thing with Valiverse that I have an issue with is that they're all the exact same height. Everybody is the exact, everyone has the exact same body. And the females, unfortunately, with their overlays, you struggle to get them in some positions of firing the rifles. I know some people may disagree. And I know some people will say you can't do that with the classified, but I know Matthew and I both had proven that you can take that sniper rifle and put it in like the movie Baroness and get her perfect sniping. So, quickly, that's what all car salesmen do. You know what? You're not wrong. But you know what? People are buying them. So I don't blame him one bit for throwing out all these repaints. You know, I thought it was kind of funny that in one of Analog Toys videos, he made a comment about Motu Origins being the ultimate repaint and reuse bucks, and I kind of laughed, like, not really. Yes, they are. They always have been. But let's be honest, the Valiverse are just repaints and rebucks. And he doesn't hide it. Everyone else hides it. They're trying to say that's not what it is. B says, selling blank figure and gear packs separate when combined, they cost more than the regular figure. A figure isn't. Yeah, well, you know, you and I seem to be the only ones that will complain about that. Everyone else would jump on me when I say that, but I agree. That's why, you know, that's why I don't have a Delta Force Trooper or Delta Trooper. I think the Delta Trooper looks awesome, but I'm not going to spend that much money when I'm buying the same figure over and over. But I bought the Dorkside exclusive because it all came together. He agreed. Trigger is the best. I do. I just wish Trigger was a little bit bigger. I wish he was just a little bit bigger. All right, buddy, come on. All right, listen. You just came in from outside. You can go spend time with Olivia. Don't you love dogs? Let's see. Super D says, if I'm able to get some army builders of Valiverse at Joe Fest, even my mindset will change. But as of this moment, I really only want the female main characters. Go watch Bobby B's. Go watch B's Battlegrounds videos. He has some fun things to say. Let's see. Damn, I really enjoy a lot of those. Listen. I enjoy some of them too. My issue has become that they've rehashed the same ones over and over and over. They give you different faces. The articulation is absolutely wonderful. Other than like the duster here. Here, I'll take this off really quick. I kind of hate that we moved on talking about this, but like they took away the boot swivel because it's all one piece, and the articulation on the foot here isn't as good. With this, Desert Rat has it, he has it, and so does Trigger, unfortunately. And it messes with the articulation. I don't care what anyone says. And I'll tell you what, if Hasbro did that with the Classified, oh my God, people would throw a damn fit about it if they took away some articulation. And Tony, don't let people hear you say that. That upsets some people. That's the only reason why I got 8 billion dusters for fodder. Yeah, I still have one sitting over here that hasn't been opened. I'm like, I guess I didn't need that many. Let's see, B's Battleground, actually they're exactly the same. 20 plus 15 equals 35. Same as retail for the figure. Actually, they're $23 for the blank figures. So, stop struggling to get females in the right position. No me. Damn it, I should have read that before I read it out loud. Oh my God. Yeah, made a whole operator squad. Okay. So again, I don't want to deter anyone from buying Valiverse. I think they are really good figures. I'm not putting down the figure. I'm just tired of buying the same figure over and over and over. And hopefully when the new ones come out, I'll be kind of happy with them because I want something new. Again, will I still buy them? I'm not positive, but it is something people will tune in to see what I have to say on those. All right. Anyway, let's see here. Ooh, I missed something. To Valiverse defense, I feel like being there a startup, I think it makes sense. I feel like these first few batches was to get the company running. Now it's running and okay, so listen, I do not have a problem at all with them reusing the body. I don't, because Classified does the same thing. So Hasbro does the same thing. Marvel Legends does the same thing. I'm willing to bet that all those Power Rangers do the same thing. You can't do it with uh, the Black Series. I don't have a problem with reusing it. That's part of the game. I mean, people think like repaints really don't pay for new molds, but it does. But I'm just tired of like buying the same figure over and over and over. And that's just me. I don't want to try and talk anyone out of buying it. That's not at all. Let's see. BMW says because Punk was very honest about Valiverse, I started calling, and I appreciate that. Like, I wanted to be honest because, as I mentioned before, I feel like I say this all the time. People either said they were the greatest figure or they were the worst figure. Greatest, worst, greatest, but there's no in between. Like, what the hell? And then there was this one guy. He used to be articulated. He was stealthy. He used to be really honest about the product, and he's not anymore. Ray Paz says, I want to say I like the Valiverse line. I can even deal with the repaints. I think it's just the actual customer service, and even his complaining about Hasbro. I'm not a Hasbro dick rider. Listen, that's one of those things. It's again, I know that I'm not liked by a lot of people because of that. Listen. I agree with so much of what you said there. I just want to give my honest opinion, whether someone agrees with it or not. People know when they listen to what I say, what I have to say. I'm saying what truly comes from my heart. So, how do we get on Valiverse over one fucking picture? All right. Axion says I have a lot of Valiverse, but only 2 figs are in stock. The rest are kit bashed together. I'm definitely waiting for new figs, but the break gives me time for a walk. So this is what I'm going to say right now. This break, picking up a walk, picking up more gargoyles, which I wasn't on before anyway. Getting in on Mythic Legions, it's making me. I have to look at my funds and what I can afford, and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, you know what? I would rather right now put my money into something like Mythic Legions and the AWOC figures, and obviously the gargoyles, and even stuff like Elf here. It's just I really like it. Like it's something different. And when you have the same figures over and over and over, yeah, they're different headsculpts, they're painted differently. But after a while, you're like, all right, they're all the exact same. You can look at the weapon and go, yep, I already know that weapon will not work with him. Say what you want. Those vests, are so big that some of the weapons do not work. They may work with classified because not all of them have it. I know technically I could take it away, but in real life, those vests and everything would have some give, and in plastic they don't. So I can't leave one picture, but I have more to talk about. I like when he talks about his experience as far as the designer and what he thinks went wrong with figures or how he would improve it. I agree. Listen, when he talks about professional stuff, I love listening to him because I don't know anything about it. When he shows stuff, great. I don't care about the personal shit. All right. You guys don't care about my personal issues with certain people, or if I had personal issues. If you don't care, like most people don't. I mean, I don't. And thank you, Mr. Wonderful. Yeah, again, like I try not to, listen. I can be a total dick. I mean, my whole life I have been. I think that's enough about this. There's a lot of a lot of comments right now, and I love it. Oh, Master Versal, thank you for joining. So the next one is, so this thing popped up, and this is the 4 Horsemen. This is their Legion Con. I think it will be out in November. And again, after having some of these Mythic Legions, and as I mentioned before, one of the biggest, Mythic Legions do not have the greatest articulation. Their articulation, I would say, is a little bit better than a Super 7 Ultimate. But you guys have heard me bash Super 7 Ultimates. And a $55 price point, having all for articulation. But when I look at the Mythic Legions, the sculpts are absolutely amazing. The paint is awesome. I mean, I only have 3 of them, but I've really never heard a bad thing about it. And the 3 that I have are absolutely awesome. And I'm willing to look at the amount of time and effort someone puts into it. Lone Dragon, yes, a punk ass with toys. That's right. But yeah, it's, I'm willing to look at like everything that you get with this, and take away some of the articulation and be like, but this paint, this looks superb. And another thing that Action had said, and in one of the comments of the videos, was I kind of agree. Like when it comes to an armored figure, like Vetus here, Vetus, I forget. Yeah, I mean, you're only going to be able to get into so many poses anyway, so much articulation in real life. But again, I can overlook some of that because they just look so wonderful. And so this thing pops up, and now I'm like, oh wow, I think I might need this. Ray says right off, wow, the figure looks sick, but I need my articulation. You know what? And I can fully understand that. When someone says, hey, you know what? For $50, I feel I need better articulation. I can understand that. And if you did add like double jointed, you would take away from the aesthetics. There is no doubt about it. Because even though even pinless, you still can see the joints. Where the joints are hidden pretty well. No. Buddy, listen, how many times do you have to do this? I know, I love you too. Everyone here loves you. All right? Want to say hi to everyone once again? Yeah. Jump up and say hi. All right. Everyone say hi to Roman. Everyone can hear him, right? All right. Look at that. Okay. But not right now. You don't do this all day. Okay? So no. Here. You would think that I would have a kid that he always wants a snack. Okay. Yeah, so as I was saying, I can understand the articulation, but look at this figure. He looks absolutely beautiful. What? Give him a snack. Take him downstairs.
I gave him a snack.
Okay, I don't know what he wants. Get him out of here.
I can't help where he goes.
Yeah, I know.
Get over here, Roman. Let's go.
Go, Roman. Go.
Dude, come here.
Do you want to go outside?
I'll let you outside for 10 minutes.
Just sit down there with them. Take your tablet and whatever.
All
right. Don't you love? You gotta love live stream when the kids are on. They just don't care. Go outside. He wants to go outside. Everyone can hear it. Yeah, Roman knows everyone wants to see him and loves him. Yes. Dude, he does. Like he would sit. Like if I was not sitting here talking, I sat up here for like 3 hours, 4 hours, I think. Last night actually, when I was watching Hella Dope Toys doing stuff for this, he just sat there, didn't say a word. I didn't have to go to nothing. Anyway, I don't remember what this guy's name is, so if anyone does know, if they haven't said it in the chat, go ahead and say what it is. I think it looks absolutely amazing. I'm not a fan of this face. Well, it looks awesome. I'm just not a big fan of it. But I love the wired cape. It looks really, really good. Here you have like this kind of glowing troll head. Again, I'm not sure how much this one is going to cost. I'm going to guess 75 to 100. I could be wrong, but this is like I said, I believe a Legion Con, so I think November. It says that it should be coming out. I'm trying to read through some of the chat here. Well, you know what? There was a lot that was said, so let's see here. Super T said back here, I just think Legions are just meant to be cool looking on your shelf, more than being able to articulate, pose them all the time. It's like higher toys. They're just small statues. I tend to agree with you, and I think that's kind of where you have like the Super 7 Ultimates. They're not meant to be posed. And that was the whole reason why I had that whole articulation, what is articulation? Or do you even know what articulation is? Topic last week. That because when people try and tell me that the articulation is better on a Super 7 than a classified, well, that's just wrong. Like, that's not an opinion. That's just absolutely wrong. So Super T says, I'm going back here, guys. Yeah, we have a ton of Dino lines. Boss fight. Oh, man, I am waiting for the Saurosaur Warriors. And I have to say, seeing Toy Galaxy or Secret Galaxy, Dan Larson, that he got them in. And again, I pre-ordered when I first got them. They just popped. I don't know why. I'm not even a dinosaur person. And then you see how they fit with the Motu, so they are a little bit smaller. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting those in hands. Okay. So this is everything that it comes with, and you have these 3 different heads. Now, I definitely like. I mean, I like them all, to be honest, but the one that's the mask is fully covered, I definitely like most. And again, these things they're getting them in hand. What everyone said, man, just get one in hand, and now I'm like, I want them all. What can I sell so I can buy more? Or what can I sell so I can pay off what I just bought? And again, I mean, again, they kind of look like little statues, but I can change them. I can change their appearance as I please. Which again, with Super 7 Ultimates, you really can't. Mr. Wonderful, I see it. Mr. Wonderful says, I can't touch the Super 7 inbox. Looks great. Out of the box, they seem to have they leave a lot to be desired. Oh, you know what? Listen. The only time they look good for sure is when he's showing their promo pictures of them. I'm still waiting to see if that Zartan is actually color changing. Because I have a feeling that it's going to be color changing for a couple tries, or it's just barely going to change, or he's just going to say, well, we were having problems with the paint, so we decided not to do it. Because that's something that he would say. See, I unboxed my toys, so I can't get into Super 7. Oh my gosh. Ray Pass, you're pushing those hardcore. I don't know if you're talking to me, if you're talking about this. I don't know. There's so much going on. Listen, if I don't, just so everyone knows, if I don't read your comments or I miss it, it's nothing personal. I have no issues with anyone. DW, what's up? I know I have not seen that name. And if Matthew hits me up after the show and says, oh, he's been in the chat a lot, I'm going to feel really stupid. All right. So here's a few more pictures of him. I think the cape just looks awesome. The cloak cape, whatever you want to call it. It looks so sweet. So let's get into this. So this here, I did not want this. And then I saw it. And I'm like, how can I make my townhouse bigger? Because now I kind of want this. I was never a big Snake Mountain fan. I always liked Castle Grayskull more. It's always seemed a little small. Again, it is just over 2 feet tall here. But I think it looks really, really nice. And I'm not looking to buy it right now. But it is going to be sitting there in my back of my mind. If some money shows up, extra money, then yeah. And look at this. We got royalty in the house, toy habits. Oh, I want okay, I want this. Matthew, you are not allowed to leave. yes, I need this, but I just don't know if I can. There's so much stuff that I already have on pre-order, and I'll tell you what. Mattel is doing kind of what Hasbro did at the end of last year. They announced all this stuff, and stuff is starting to ping and get charged. And I'm like, oh boy, wait a minute. I haven't had a chance to pay off these other things here. But I like this. I really, really do. I don't have room for it. I already got to figure out where I'm going to add the top of Castle Grayskull when I'm totally drawing a blank of what the name of that is. But it folds up. Now, there is one big problem. It comes with a spider, and I do not bring spiders into my house. I hate spiders. I hate absolutely everything about spiders. Point Dread. Thank you, Allison. Point Dread. Thank you, Skirty. 10 points for the sister. Mr. Wonderful, you ain't going nowhere. Where is that? Where's Mr. Wonderful? You said good night yesterday, and you sat there the whole damn time, and they went longer than I go. Right? Spider-Man. Oh, I don't. No, I'll take Spooderman. Spider-Man's not a spider. Yeah, I do not like spiders. I'm not as bad as I used to be. My son is absolutely awful. My daughter's starting to get bad. She was the one that I would have go kill the spiders. Now I just vacuum them up. I actually posted something on Facebook a few years ago. I have a buddy that is so paranoid of spiders. And I said, you know what? I'm now at the age and in a career that I can afford to have a vacuum cleaner on every floor so I can just vacuum up spiders when I see one. It was a long night last night, but hey, you know what? It never seems like it is whenever you're going. Like, we're now an hour and 22 minutes into this. You know, like hour and 22 minutes into this. And I didn't think I was going to have anything to talk about. We didn't even get to the topic yet. We're trying to drag it out to the middle of about 10:30 or so because, as we all know, I think a lot of people come over from watching wrestling around that time. Jeffrey Smith says, with these big playsets showing up, wonder if we can get G.I. Joe headquarters. No, because it would be bigger. And I mentioned this before. Everyone wants these vehicles for G.I. Joe, for classified. You know, everyone wants, they want a Stinger and a Vamp, but nobody wants to spend $33 on a Motu Origins figure. The Stridors are sitting at my local Meijer for $6.60 right now. I already have one that I spent, I think, $22 on. That I got it on sale when it first came out. They're like $6.60, and I've seen people get them for in the $3 range. And mine over here has, I think, 15 of them just sitting there, waiting. But yeah, again, I think this looks awesome. It gives you a lot of play features, a lot of things, a lot of diorama stuff that you can do, a lot of photo shoots that you can do. Quickly here, I'm trying to read through the comments here, which isn't always the easiest thing. Toy Habit says, where the heck are you going to put G.I. Joe classified series scale vehicles? Did you not see my video? I specifically talked about it, man. Like, people here, hold on. You know what? Give me 1 second. I have one sitting right over here. That people don't seem to understand this. But So I have this 3D printed Skyhawk. All right. And here, look. It's about as long as a gargoyle's wings. And people are going to complain about wings. And I'm going to have to put it here because I don't want to get up again. These things are huge. If you haven't seen my video on it, and listen, I don't care if you want them. I'm not trying to talk people out of it. Not trying to talk people out of it. I have 2 3D printed hisses, and man, they take up so much space. Take up so much space. So anyway, let's just get back into this. Let's see, hold on. Banditone said, it's all good. I don't mind spiders, but I will hurt someone over snakes. Snakes don't bother me. And JLS Comics, nice to see you. I love seeing all these new faces, new people popping in here. Again, just to hear little old me talk. But so you're looking at the inside of this. Again, I think it looks really cool. You got a jail. You got these nice fluorescent green weapons. I don't really need more weapons, but you do have the throne. I just think it's done really, really well, which I think is great. I mean, this is what you need. And I did a video a couple years ago about how I believe that the Motu Origins are the best toys for kids and their parents. And that's because they have some articulation, they have nostalgia for the parents, and you can bang them around. You can bang him around. Did I say JLS was new? I know he's not new, but he just popped into the chat. I know I've seen JLS. Like that, I know. That was just a text sent to me. But again, this looks really cool. And here's how you can see how big it is. And again, yes, it's 24 inches, but it's 24 inches to the top. That's kind of like talking about the height of the USS Flag to the top of the actual radar tower. I guess technically that's how tall it is, but it's not really that tall because you could always take it down. But anyway, I don't know if I'm getting it. Like honestly, there's so much stuff for that I'm already looking at, and believe me, being monetized on YouTube means they pay for probably about an eighth of a figure. Here it is open. Again, I still like Castle Grayskull more, but I just think the inside of this looks really, really good. You know what? If it goes on clearance, but that's going to be, I think you might be gambling because I think they maybe toning down on how many they make, because I mean the line is dead as of the 1st of this month. It's never going to get old. Never ever going to get old now, is it? Super T says, honestly, what do we really need realistically after the his tank? Trouble Bubble, 1-2 Joe vehicles, and good. See, so then and again, like getting into vehicles, that's kind of where I understand if you want a couple. What people want is to have all the vehicles that are available. That all we had in the Real American Hero line, and then they want to be able to pick which ones they want. And they just think, hey, you know what? Hasbro's worth $1 billion. They can make it, but a $1 billion company is a $1 billion company because they try not to make a lot of stupid mistakes. And Goldilocks has shown up. I pre-ordered that need to add a Bluetooth voice changer. Yeah, again, I don't really care too much about the voice changer. But hey. Okay. So then tomorrow, this is popping out. So there's something coming up tomorrow. I know like Geek Dead Life, they know about it. And Toy Habits, this is, I watched yours. So basically, it's coming to Toy Habits. Their theory is that, you're looking at the computer. This is like the old style computer that they had in the cartoon. I vaguely remember it. But they said, hey, you know what? If this is going to be the year of Skeletor, this is probably going to be a 4-pack of Skeletor. And I tend to agree with them. It makes sense. You have all the Skeletors that you can use, that they can make into the Origins. I think the biggest issue is I think you can still get that 4-pack of He-Man. At least you could not too long ago. And the question is, will they modify the price? Because that thing was way overpriced. They were doing the whole, hey, we're Super 7. Like, let's just not even pay attention to how much we're going to charge or how much we should charge. Or the Viper 3-pack that they were like, hey, you know what? We're going to give them 3 of the exact same figure. We're going to charge them $90. And people went, wait a minute. It should be like $60 because it's a repaint and these figures were $20 to begin with. And I think they saw their error in their way, but will they see the error in their way if they do the 4-pack here? Which, again, I hope so. Now, I won't be buying it because I don't really care for like the New Adventures of He-Man. I don't care about the animated He-Man that just came out. All that stuff, it doesn't really enthuse me. Toy Habit says the Skeletor 4-pack is a fun theory. We are not in the know. Mattel would never trust us. No, again, it yeah. And I was trying to get a screenshot of that, and it just was not working for me. But no, your theory, it totally makes sense. Why would you do a 4-pack of a He-Man and not do one of Skeletor, right? That doesn't make any sense because there's going to be people that want to match them up together to have, their nemesis. If I did an action figure, I need an action figure of Beast Battleground, as he is my arch nemesis, according to my son. Of course, he's huge, and I'm tiny, but according to Super 7, small figures still should cost the same as an Ultimate, but a bigger Ultimate should still cost more. I always got to get my dig in at Super 7 because all right. And that pretty much brings us to the end. But there was one other thing that did pop up today, and I'm going to add this to the stream. And I saw this. Again, I believe I saw it on the Full Force that they threw it out there. Let's see here. Let me share my screen. Now, if it goes slow, it's because we're adding a stream. So, according to Entertainment Earth, on Thursday, there is going to be a drop for something G.I. Joe. Now, it does kind of maybe work in line that A Toy Kind of Mood is having 2 of the G.I. Joe brand on there. 2 people, Lenny, and I don't remember who the other one is. But it looks like it says G.I. Joe action figure. If you like Cobra and you like G.I. Joe and you like action figures, set up a reminder for this special deal. Now, I have no idea what this is, but I don't think it's going to be anything classified, unless it's maybe if it's something that hasn't shown up. See, look. Okay, Jeremy, thank you for joining. Did wrestling just end? I know it's supposed to go until like 10, but I know you watch wrestling. Big Bacon, nice to see you. I think some of you guys, yes, Lenny and Tony. So Lenny, I don't know. I never remember who Tony is. I know Lenny and Emily. So I do wonder what this is going to be. It makes me wonder if there's a chance that this might be maybe that Dreadnought Transformer. But they don't say anything about Transformers. Now, the one thing that I did notice is I kind of scrolled through here. Hopefully this won't start freezing up everything. April 26th, it's the May the something be with you. So there's going to be a Star Wars drop right here. Super 7, whatever it is, it's going to be overpriced and badly articulated. Funko, if you don't know, I do believe Funko has has a collab with Entertainment Earth. They send a lot of stuff to them. I mean, I know BBTS too, but Entertainment Earth just constantly is pushing them out. Here we have, the Mattel on the 28th, a mountainous drop. You can assume that is the Snake Mountain. But there's a few other things that I kind of quickly looked at. Diecast, that's obviously something Hot Wheels. What can this be? Is it in the sky? So it's a Transformer. So this one here on May 2nd kind of makes me think that maybe this will be Transformers collab, that Thunder Machine that has been talked about. Buddy, you literally just walked in here and started whining. If you wanted to be outside, go spend time with Olivia. Go. I love you too, buddy, but I can't do this right now. So anyway, again, if you go to this drop zone, you can kind of start figuring things out. But these things are just telling you that it's Hasbro, where this specifically says G.I. Joe. So maybe it's one of the things that was announced, one of the classified stuff that was announced, that we that they didn't show off. But hopefully it's something different. I mean, I would love for it to be the Transformer crossover, but you think that they would kind of mention that. All right. So I don't need this anymore. Remove that. Then read it. Toy Habit says here, Amazon pre-orders are currently sold out for Snake Mountain, so BBTS and Entertainment Earth are your best bets. Yes. And if you're here, make sure you use ee.toys/apunk. If you're watching another YouTube channel, use theirs. Because I believe every single one of us now has an Entertainment Earth code. You get 10% off anything in stock and free shipping, $59 over. Since I use BBTS so far, they haven't found me. No, listen, there's nothing wrong with the BBTS. Some of their stuff takes longer to get, and I think that's because I believe they're out of Wisconsin. So it takes longer, and I don't think they're in a big rush. They're just kind of like, hey, you know what? People always come here. They're going to get the stuff, and, people are going to order it from us. That's why their stuff is a little bit more expensive. That's the type of stuff that I really don't like. Their stuff has gone up in price. Now, they do have the $4 shipping, and again, they were talking about it last night. Yeah, who knows how long you're going to wait. And usually it's not even BBTS. It goes out and it sits there in, I want to say it's Indiana. It just sits there for like days and days on end. I'm like, I can just drive there. No, not Dreadnought Bikes. There was rumors that there was going to be a Thunder Machine Soundwave Transformer crossover that would come with Zarana and Zartan, but no Thresher, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And hey, I see something complimentary. This stream is fun because people actually interact in chat. Hey, you know what? I love that. And listen, I try to talk to the chat, but I'm sure as Toy Habits can probably attest to, and they have a lot more people that watch their stream. You cannot, I cannot read everything, especially considering I'm doing this all alone, and I do my best. But I really want it to be where, hey, I'm talking about a topic or whatever, and you guys are just going on in the chat. And I think that's really cool. Look at this. And we have our second celebrity, the Artist Sharp, Nemesis Enforcer revealed. God, please no. God, please no. How's it going, man? Glad I could make it. Glad you can too, man. Listen. Hey, I still got some time. Listen, I've mentioned this before. I absolutely hate Cobra Law. Matter of fact, Cobra Law, where are you? I know you're listening. You haven't said anything. I like Cobra Law as a viewer. I hate them. I hate that movie. That movie had one good thing going for it. Duke dying. And you know what they screwed up? Duke dying. Because Optimus died. You know what? The G.I. Joe movie should have come out first, and Duke died, and then they said, you know what? We can't kill off Optimus Prime, because Optimus Prime is actually cool, and Duke sucks. There, I said it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I like hearing nice things, like we all do. Yes, artist, you're going down my list right now. Duke is gonna be A-okay. Oh, so bad. Oh God. Eric. Well, if you're interested, you need to check out Matthew's Instagram, because he already did it. I think he said it was like the first thing he did after he got Serpentor. Ray Passer says, let me tell you that could be a far more interesting part of a franchise if they went with a more interesting route. I love fantasy stuff, obviously. I got gargoyles. I got Mythic Legions now. I got the AWOCs. I don't want my G.I. Joe to be this hardcore military where I see the Valiverse shells that are like, oh my God, they have laser guns. Well, guess what? They also have orange guys going into battle, all right? They've never been full military after the first line. But I don't want that. I don't even like Serpentor. All right? I absolutely hate Serpentor. All right? I hate Shipwreck too. Let me start on Shipwreck. We haven't even got to the topic, but now we're an hour and 42 minutes into it. This is what you guys do to me, all right? So I'm not supposed to read the chat because I get off. Okay. So let's get to the topic. And the topic that I threw out there was the G.I. Joe issues. Okay? And what issues G.I. Joe is having. And this is my own personal point of view. I cannot speak for everyone, but these are some of the issues that I see. So quickly, we're going to start off with Classified. So they dropped this Classified. This was the first Classified figure, and he looks absolutely awesome. Now, if you don't have them, I apologize. It is really a good figure. It has the Uzi, it has a real pistol. Everything is absolutely realistic. And it even comes with its own box that you can pull out if you don't want to have the whole thing. So we'll go to, here. Here is what our boxes were for quite some time. Now, biggest issue with the Cobra Island was the small amount of production and it being a Target exclusive, which for a while, Target exclusives were like a bad word. No one wanted to say, Cobra exclusive. But this is how the box looked. And they all lined up. Other than, let's say, like the coil cycle and the Supreme Cobra Commander. And those I understand. But then we get the new box. And it's completely out of scale with the other ones. Now, again, it's not a huge deal if you don't collect the boxes, if you're not an inbox collector. Now, I kind of like it, to be honest. This is crazy. I keep all my boxes. And I have them all lined up. And I kind of like it because I kind of look at it as, if you go to a library I know there are still libraries. If you go to a bookstore or whatever, books are not always the exact same, right? So the boxes all look different. But there's a lot of people like the uniform, the uniformity. So you went from, this box size, and then you wanted to go plastic free, that's fine. But you change the size of the box, and then you put this big old hunking piece on the top, which I think looks awful. And then you went to this, which I really like. I think this looks amazing. And if you're going to do plastic free, this is how it's supposed to be. You have these little Easter eggs. But now what do they say? They come back, and the experiment of plastic free packaging is on its way out. Now, I always figured that it wasn't going to last. I just didn't think that the experiment would be so short, considering it wasn't even 6 months into it when they said, well, the retro cards, anything that's retro carded, we're going to have it on plastic packaging. And this thing here, now, whether or not there aren't people buying too, there are people that stopped buying it altogether. And it's not just G.I. Joe. Remember that. This is not just a G.I. Joe thing. If it was just G.I. Joe, they probably wouldn't care. But you're talking about, the Black Series and then the Marvel Legends. And I guess if people really collect Power Rangers, I don't know really anyone that does. A lot of people aren't buying 2 of each. Again, I don't understand why anyone's buying 2. I don't understand why anyone buys 2 of each of something like this. It's one to keep in the package and one to open up, considering you can just pull it out. That's what she said. There's no way to say that. You can remove the figure, not ruin the box, and then slide the figure back in later on. The same way you do with Mythic Legions or like the Mattel Creations exclusives when they have one like the Sunman and different things like that. So again, I don't know why anyone is buying 2 of each. All you're doing is helping Hasbro out. To me, that's someone who wants to go ahead and resell it later on down the line. If that's what you want to do. Hey, you spend your money any way you want. It doesn't matter to me. But now there's going to be a whole nother set, right? Something completely different. But what is it that we really don't have? And we've gotten like one live stream this whole year, right? For G.I. Joe. Now, G.I. Joe is really the hottest property going on right now. I know that there is some stealth dude who put out a clickbait video, I'm assuming it is classified dead, or is classified, I don't know, it's something like that. It just happened to pop up when I was going through things today, and I didn't even bother watching them. All right? I don't wear masks in my house when I'm by myself. But this is probably the hottest property. You look at last year, everyone said like, hey, this is, not everyone, but a lot of toy lines of the year. And this is Hasbro's property. It's all profit for them. All profit. But it's like they don't know what to do. They don't promote it. So now you're starting to see some of the people, like on a Toy Kind of Mood, they're going to have some guys, going to have Lenny and Tony on Wednesday. And there probably won't be any hard-hitting questions. I do believe Hasbro makes you specifically turn in questions that they want you to ask, or that you're going to ask. I don't think anyone should have to ask about Hooded Cobra Commander. I did a whole video on it. I explain it. It's out there. People just don't want to believe why we're not getting a Hooded Cobra Commander. But there's no one really out there promoting this. There's no live streams. And you look at Marvel Legends, and yeah, they go on other streams too. Toy Habits just had them on there. So then we get to the O-rings, and it's like, are we really doing O-rings? I'm going to address softball questions because sometimes people are asking softball questions when in actuality, there's certain questions there's no reason to ask. again, like the Hooded Cobra Commander, because it's already been covered. We already know why. You're grilling the wrong people why we don't get one. So anyway, so they kind of give us some O-rings. And I know I've heard Toy Habits talk about it, and they're just like, hey, are we ever going to get more? Or not Toy Habits. I think Toy Habits have also talked about it back. And I know Geek Day Life has talked about it. I know I've discussed it. But it's like, all right, these look really nice. Of course, Cobra Officer has bad knees that they didn't fix. Ernest Shark says quickly, this is what they question. Who is your favorite Cobra? So, we get some O-ring figures. We get this to drop out of nowhere. This thing sells out so fast, and you're looking at this going, why don't you have a Vamp, and why don't you have a Vamp Mark II? Right? It would sell. You just have to do a figure, right? Shouldn't be that hard to do a figure. We get the Sky Striker. I don't believe that we're going to get another HasLab O-ring. Unfortunately, I think for me, this Sky Striker is amazing. I don't have any problems with mine. I know a lot of people do, and that's unfortunate. I can only speak on what I have. I think that this is awesome. It is so much better than the original. For the sweeping wings that can move properly. The adding of missiles, so I can now hold 8 missiles instead of 6. The stand, everything is absolutely amazing. I love this thing. Now I'm going to go back into some comments pretty soon. And then we get this crossover here. And this seems like the only O-rings that we're going to get. Right? And let's be honest, it's probably more because of the Transformers. And I don't know if anyone's transformed either one of these. I said I would never transform them again. It was one thing that I did not do in my review on camera because I'm like, nobody wants to sit here and watch me. I think we all watched. Well, I didn't watch. You can all go look back and see the Full Force when they did theirs. It took Chris forever to transform the thing. It's like, this should be an easy transform. Boom, you're done. It's a his tank. It's Megatron. It's an All-Striker. It's Bumblebee. It shouldn't be that difficult. So you have 2 different lines. One that's barely out there, and you have Classified, which is like the hottest. But when do we get drops? When do we get new toys? Do we get new toys? Like, we know that they're coming out there. I have Walmart figures that I guess I should have in next week. But Walmart doesn't update it. As a matter of fact, Walmart said it's canceling the Crimson Guard. So are we going to continue to have that? So Hasbro isn't even promoting their own product. A product, and this is a company that loves money, right? And hey, they're a corporation. You should love money, right? And they're not even promoting their own product, which is all profit. Let me scroll back here a little bit. Kind of want to see what people have to say here. Let's see here. It makes me want to buy duplicates while plastic free, just in case they wrap up in price because of the art. You know what? I could see those actually going up in price. Let's see. This box with small window to see a figure like old vehicles used to have to show the driver. I think that's what's going to happen. I think you're going to have a very small plastic window. And I've been saying that before. You can really easily do it. So you just show the figure. Let's see here. Yeah. Chad Farr, thank you for joining. Just make smaller windows and show the accessories. And exactly. Let's see the figure so we know what we're getting. Daredevil Dave, thank you for joining. So peeps, better late than never. Yes, I agree. Just kind of scrolling through, looking at some of these things. I have a lot more to say about this whole thing because Artist Shark says this is what. Oh, I already said that one. So just kind of scrolling through here. Toy Habit says the issue was they said they were relaunching the O-ring line with the Sky Striker, so they set expectations. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that they realize people don't really want that, and it's too bad. But you should, I mean, how many different lines do the Transformers have? There's 3 different lines for Star Wars. How there's 2 lines for Marvel with the 5 points of articulation figures, 5 POA. Dave Yardbird says, "No, it's not happening, but I can still dream of a Hasbro flag to park the Sky Striker on." And I've been very open about saying I don't ever want to see a Hasbro flag because I have mine, and it's kind of the bragging right. But I have my childhood flag that I have mine. Again, I think they even with that. So that's just kind of going over some of the stuff that they have. Now, there's other things that go on with the brand. And we have the Super 7 reaction, which personally I think are awful. There's no articulation. There's 5 points of articulation. It is nice that they will make some figures that were never produced and that we will never get produced. But never once in my entire life, or have I ever heard anyone say, "God, I wish my G.I. Joes were like my Star Wars figures." Nobody wants 5 points of articulation. Now, I pick some up, put them in the background. They're almost always figures either on sale and ones that have never been produced. But they're also $20. They went from $18 to $20. He actually raised the prices. But he's pumping these out like crazy. As you can see, he does a ton of repaints. Now, this guy is the master of repaints. And again, I'm going to try not to get into. And then, he does something like this, right? Again, Super 7, they're promoting stuff more than Hasbro is promoting their own product. Now, again, don't even get me started on how, let's just say these figures are worth $20, that a box of figures with one accessory each is worth $65. Someone do the math there. All right, Brian, you obviously ain't that bright, considering 3 times 20 should be 60, not 65. Not to mention, the reason why you're supposed to do a pack is so the price goes down. Hasbro, 3-pack Vipers, look at that. I mean, and then we get into the Ultimates. Now, you guys know where I stand on the Ultimates. I absolutely hate the Ultimates. I think these things are trash. Again, I don't like the articulation. Again, I'm kind of a hypocrite because I'm talking about Mythic Legions and how I feel they have a very close to the same articulation, but I don't know what the hell I'm getting with any Super 7 Ultimate. But nonetheless, they are pushing out product more than what Hasbro is doing for their own more than what they are doing for their own product, it seems. Like, they're not just throwing things out. Allison Troy says, "I love these reaction figures. I know they look like hot garbage, but they're just fun. I get why people hate them, but they're goofy and fun. Okay, it's not that. It's that they're $20. If they were $10, then you could get away with it. There's no doubt about it. And it is great that they give you some goofy and fun stuff. But I don't want goofy and fun at a premium price with really poor articulation. And Toy Habit says, we need to remember these toys are supposed to be fun. But that's the problem. How can fun be this? I don't dance, but if I went to a dance club, man, I would not be dancing like this. My personal opinion. Anyone remember? Here. This is what I'd say about 5 points of articulation. Anyone remember the Star Wars snow stormtrooper and his big long gun. You couldn't stand him up and have him point that gun because he fell over. But either way, what I am saying is, this is kind of an issue where you have two brands now doing the Hasbro brand, and they're promoting it more than Hasbro. And what I mean by that is, I've already talked, there's been one live stream. All right? One live stream of G.I. Joe. Hasn't been any more talk of it. But here we have at San Diego Comic-Con, Super 7, who I am not a fan of, they completely changed the outside and inside of their storefront to be G.I. Joe, to promote G.I. Joe. And they're only promoting their own product. And of course, it makes sense. So here you are, Super 7, who isn't even the owner, is, they're actually giving promotion where Hasbro doesn't. And you look at this. And again, they're doing something again this year. And again, I'm not a fan of Super 7 or Brian Flynn in general. And I guarantee you Brian Flynn would never be on my show, even if I do have guests ever. But, it's like you have a product that is so hot right now that people want. And I understand Disney is giving you a lot of money for Marvel Legends and for Star Wars. And when you're the owner, when you're a boss, you pay yourself last. So I understand that. But let's be honest, they're actually giving promotion where G.I. Joe unfortunately isn't. Allison quickly says, we are fortunate to be living in a time where we have our pick of G.I. Joes in scale, style, and from properties. I would have killed for cartoon-based anything as a kid. No, I say I don't. For me, I didn't. I was the comic, the file cards, and my own headcanon as the lore. But I do understand what you're saying. But again, you would never have, I guarantee you, no kid would have bought this. They had the O-ring. If there was another company doing that, you'd be like, your dad would be like, oh, here you go. And you'd be like, Dad, don't give me that shit. Mine are supposed to have swivel arm battle grip. Right? I want to be able to spin my fingers around and make them go back. So I think this is one of the biggest issues where Hasbro is absolutely failing, is they are not promoting anything. And then there's this. The movies. Now, this movie was bad. I think there was some really good casting. The Baroness was not only perfect, but super hot. Scarlet was not only perfect, but super hot. I think Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow were perfect. I think you had a really good Breaker. There was no reason to have a Heavy Duty. And then you did a second movie, and you killed off Duke. Finally, someone kills off Duke, and frankly, I didn't care. I thought this movie was okay. But again, the best part of this movie, in my opinion, was the ode to the silent interlude, where they fight in the Himalayas or wherever the mountains, and they're going to rescue Storm Shadow. I really like that part. I really don't even hate this. But then there was this movie, which is a standalone movie that's not called Snake Eyes or has nothing to do with G.I. Joe. It'd be fine. It'd be fun, whatever. But as a G.I. Joe movie, this was awesome. I mean, awful. Awesome. And this movie was awful. And they don't even they barely did any promotion on it, which is probably a good thing. And who do we have to thank for that? This asshole. Lorenzo Di Bonaventure. Now, I know that's a harsh word to say about someone, but this guy is the director and I think the producer of the G.I. Joe movies. He pretty much for some odd reason, has to say, this is the media that we're getting. And because of this guy, we're not getting this guy. And I've had this discussion. This is not my opinion of why we're not getting it. There is another guy, he goes around on YouTube and on Instagram and stuff, and he says, oh no, we're getting Hooded Cobra Commander. They're just not going to give it to us. No. This guy here has said he looks like the KKK. He looks like the Ku Klux Klan. He's not going to be, not as long as I'm in charge. And here's the biggest problem with the movies. You have comic books. And those comic books are a rough draft for so many movies. You know, you have extensive enterprises you can do. You have the Dreadnoks that you can do. You can have the relationship between Stalker, Snake Eyes, and Storm Shadow. As a matter of fact, could you imagine doing a movie where they do Storm Shadow, Stalker, you know, and obviously there's going to be other people, but find a way that Snake Eyes is always wearing that hat. You never see his face. You never hear him talk. How amazing would that be? And then you actually see the relationship. And then you see what actually happens eventually. We never see Snake Eyes' face. We never hear his voice. You could easily do it. And this is the reason. This is the guy. And if you don't believe me, listen, I have a video that talked about it. You can go and find it. It is something that I read. Bobby Valla has talked about it. I've had confirmation on this when I was on another show, when we were sitting behind, before we went on. Someone else that worked at Hasbro specifically told us that this is exactly what happened. And he is the one that has put a kibosh on that. This guy needs to be ousted, never have anything to do with G.I. Joe. He's not a G.I. Joe fan. Why is he in charge? You know, I'm not saying you need to have someone like us who are just fans of the product, because let's be honest, I could not direct a movie. It would be so all over the place. You guys can probably put that one together, right? But you have this property. You have outlines, comics. Just pick up those comics and start reading it and adapt it to now. Again, you can't do Vietnam, but there are still conflicts going on in the world. That's why we still have a military. So you can find out what that brotherhood between Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and Stalker really is. And again, if you found a good director and a good producer that could make it where they lose their whole LARP team, and yet you find a way to never show Snake Eyes' face. He always wears that hat. It's always down. You never hear him talk. It would be absolutely amazing. So, but then there are some other things. And that is this. I said this. I was watching. I think it was a Toy Kind of Mood. Articulated Chad was on. This was a little while ago. And I said, this is what they need. Now, I know some people hate Teen Titans Go. And I don't know how you hate Teen Titans Go. I think if you hate Teen Titans Go, you hate yourself. My daughter and I used to watch this. It is hilarious. It is so much fun. It is cheeky. It makes fun of itself. Imagine taking 5 G.I. Joe figures, make them kiddish, and you introduce it to a new, younger audience. Okay? And you're going to have Cobra Commander, and you're going to have Destro, right? You're going to have Zartan. And yeah, they're going to be like the villains and their nemesis, but at times they're going to team up. It would be hilarious. Like Toy Habits, like I freaking love Teen Titans. Seriously, it's so good. You know, it's just, you would bring younger kids into it who would be the kids that turn into teenagers and then adults that like this. Because there are kids now, I promise you, that like Robin, that like Cyborg, that there were kids with this. And again, it would be cheeky and fun, right? And I came up with this idea, not that I'm the only one that came up with this idea, but they were talking about it, like, this is exactly what they need. You know? And seriously, like, yeah, like Will R says, like, Teen Titans Joe, but you have Yo Joe. Seriously. Yo Joe. Like, that's just it. You don't need to name it G.I. Joe. You just call it Yo Joe, you know? And you would take 5 of the most popular ones and you can integrate different ones. You can have Gung Ho in there at times. Stalker, whoever, you know? Maybe you could finally find a way to make Duke good. You know, like someone like him. But then you have, you know, the regular Teen Titans. And this could be the actual, you know, G.I. Joe cartoon. And the best thing that Teen Titans ever did was when they went to make Teen Titans Go, they used the same voice actors. So there'd be this connection. Like, you could have this G.I. Joe and it's like more grounded, more fun. Or more grounded, more realistic for an older child, right? But you still have the Teen Titans Go for when, like, the little brother wants to watch it, little sister wants to watch it, you know? And again, you have a couple females. So you have females being pulled into this. And, like, this is just, like, I mean, it's written right there. And then going back to movies. Now, I think that G.I. Joe would translate with all the subgroups into a TV series and multiple TV series that would lead into a movie. So you could have, again, like I was talking about, you could have a G.I. Joe show. It's 10 episodes that harkens back to, and again, Tommy and Stalker and Snake Eyes. And I'm going to keep going back to them because those are the most interesting ones. Like, those 3 have such a relationship that I know people only think that it's Tommy and Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, but you could easily have it. And then you could have another show where it's Extensive Enterprises. We don't need to see Cobra. Like, we know that Cobra's there. You have Extensive Enterprises and you see their dealings. Or you have Destro as the Iron Grenadiers before he's really the Iron Grenadiers. He's, you know, selling weapons to different people and different things like that. And then you have, you can have another show with Zartan, right? And the whole Dreadnoughts and where they fit in. And you do this and you lead up into a movie. One of the things that made the Avengers movie so popular and so amazing, and one reason why the first X-Men movie wasn't so amazing, and not that it was bad, or why the Justice League was bad, was by the time you got to the Avengers, we had already known all the characters. Iron Man had his movie, Thor had a movie, Hulk had a movie, Captain America had a movie. We knew the main characters. G.I. Joe movies, they just throw it in there. You and I know them, but no one else does. You do TV shows and you lead up to a big movie, and then when you're done, you come back and you start doing other TV shows. But for some odd reason, Hasbro doesn't feel the need that they need to promote this product. They don't promote their classified as well as they should. And it's evident by, and I do not put down Emily. I know a lot of people do not like Emily. And I've said this before. I don't believe that your marketing manager, marketing director, however to say, needs to know the ins and outs of everything G.I. Joe. That woman got on the G.I. Joe brand and did her research and worked hard to figure out what it needs to be done. Like, what she needs to know. She's a marketing director. I know G.I. Joe very well. You put me in front of him, if you told me to go direct a movie, go write a movie, do you know how bad it would be? If you told me to be the director of G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe brand, man, it would flop because I don't know marketing. But you take someone like Emily, she's your marketing director, and what did they do? hey, you know what? You're also going to do D&D. Well, D&D is not only are you doing a movie D&D, but you also have the kids line D&D, or the cartoon line. And then they put it back on Power Rangers. And there's a lot of stuff going on in Power Rangers right now. Amazing, they can get movies done. Right? They can get TV shows. Power Rangers get movies, TV shows, but G.I. Joe can't. So you want to say, like, you are completely spreading that marketer completely thin. And I'm not going to get into, where they release the design manager, because as a lot of people said, he's not even designing a lot of the figures. I forget what his name was. Tony or something like that. And again, I'm sure he did a good job, but there's a lot of stuff that's being outsourced. If I remember correctly, when I was watching the thing about Savage Crucibles, one of the guys there that is helping design the Savage Crucibles, he designs Serpentor. All the scales and everything. Kind of makes sense, right? And I've even heard Bobby say, hey, I don't design this stuff. Like, I send it out. There's always, there's other people doing it. But you have Lenny, who is solely, handling G.I. Joe. I think he does a wonderful job. But there's so many mistakes that Hasbro seems to make. And I don't think that you need media, per se. I don't think you need media. I just threw another Jack Reacher in here. I don't think that you have to have media. But I think it does help. Toy Habits is out of here. Having a wonderful night, Toy Habits. Hey, you know what? Listen, if you haven't checked out Toy Habits, do so. Michael and Toy Sorceress, wonderful stream. And Michael, I want to say to you, if it is Michael, I think it is, the way you are with Toy Sorceress, you really have you have way more energy than you used to. And I don't want to put down, your old partner, Larry. I mean, great name. But you didn't seem to have the same energy. And I think you guys are having a wonderful chemistry and energy right now. And I'd say Toy Sorceress laughs too much at her own jokes, but I do it too. So. Anyway, I just want to tell you that, man. Like, seriously, yeah, you guys are doing a wonderful job. So check them out Saturdays. I think it's Saturdays normally, right? Okay. But anyway, that's my feeling. I know, like, I would love to go through. I would love to go through these chats because you guys are saying so much stuff. And I'm sure there's a lot of good stuff. It's so hard. I cannot read through the chats because as you're trying to read, there's always stuff coming up. So let's try and look and see what's going on now. But I'd love to hear what you guys do think. Again, it's just my feeling. We haven't heard shit about the G.I. Joe brand. We haven't heard shit about the G.I. Joe brand. Quickly, I want to say hi to Danny. I'm a day sleeper, so I usually tune in late. I catch the replay later through. I appreciate it. I know Danny. She said her husband looks like Stalker, so it can't be that bad, And again, I want to say quickly that Stalker head. Why do people hate on that Stalker head? That head sculpt for that classified is so awesome. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, if anyone is wondering, this is actual real Pepsi. I don't know how I came up with. I don't know how I had Pepsi in my house, but it's real Pepsi, not just the Aldi Cola. But I just think, again, Hasbro, they have their own. I mean, they constantly will push out a Transformers movie, and they'll sit there and they'll say, "Hey, Michael Bay, go do another movie." And they've been. I like the first movie. I'm not gonna lie, but it should have gotten better, not worse. That second movie was awful. Then the third movie was awful. Then the fourth one, and the fifth one. Then Bumblebee comes out, and you're like, that's a good Transformer movie. But you have I mean, again, just pick up the comics and just adapt it to today. Again, there are still conflicts going on in the world. That's why we still have a military. And again, there's a reason why G.I. Joe is always going to center around Duke, Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, Scarlet. And again, when you do a movie, I'm sorry, you have to make sure there are some things that are just that have to be there. And one is that Scarlet and Snake Eyes are a couple. Not Scarlet and Duke. Not Scarlet and possibly Ripcord, who's not really Ripcord because that's not Ripcord. So Will R says, so Chris McCloud said he will be posting the interview this week with Lenny and Emily. He said he will be asking them directly about the latest QC issues. Let's see if they are allowed to answer. And listen, listen, a toy kind of mood, I'm calling you out right now. If you do not ask those types of questions, and I think those are fair questions, they are not. Those are the type of questions that need to be asked. What is going on with the QC? Lenny specifically said, and I've spoken to Lenny on Instagram numerous times. I have never gone after him directly. I've asked specific questions. He's been honest. He shared things with me because he knows that I'm not going to just go out and blast it. And I think sometimes some of these people in the industry will share specific things that if it gets out, it's not that big of a deal, but they want to see if someone is. So if I ask Lenny someone, or if I ask anyone something, and they say, "Hey, I'll tell you, but you can't tell anyone," listen, that's a bond. Like I'm not going to be, I'm not going to tell. If they say, "Hey, you know what? Here, let this kind of slip out," then cool. Then I would be more than happy to. I'm not a news channel. That's not what I'm trying to be. But I'm telling you, like a toy kind of mood. All you guys that are on there, and I know a lot of you will come in here. I hope you guys ask the real questions. Like, hey, what's going on? Lenny specifically said, with having boxed figures, or plastic-free packaging, we have to make sure that our QC is better than ever. Well, it was worse than ever. And in all honesty, it's not just G.I. Joe. It's all of Hasbro. G.I. Joe, to be honest, actually seems to be better than some of the other brands, but it's not good enough. If we can't see the figure, and I know that'll be changing, but I want to know, why are the weapons so warped? Or how about this question? How about ask this? For your 6-inch line, and I talked about this on another live stream. One of the reasons why Valiverse and, let's say, Mythic Legions, McFarlane, NECA, why those brands can do specific things, not just with weapons, but how hard the weapons are, how they're straighter and different things like that, is because they're for over 14. Where the classified figures are for 4 and up, which means you have to have softer weapons, softer accessories. Well, how about asking them, would it be possible to make these figures 14 and above? So you could harden the weapons, so I would have to constantly heat them up and straighten them. Because we're already paying $25. I think it's bullcrap that it happens. If it's every now and then, it's one thing. But QC issues. I want to know about QC issues. I have this Recondo, and you can see how bad his leg is. Now, this is the second Recondo that I got for $12. And I can tell you that if the first one that I did was like that, I would not have been as complimentary about it. Now, I haven't had a lot of bad classified, but we've seen a lot. Just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean that, or just because I haven't experienced a lot of it, doesn't mean that I don't see it. Doesn't mean I close my eyes and go, no, it's not happening, it's not happening, it's not happening. I think there's way too much of that right now. let's see here. Ray Pass says, "Oh Lord, how to the no for Michael Bay as Joe Drake." Oh no, God no, no. What you need is what you need I got same problem with my Recano. See, my first Recano doesn't have that problem, but again, I've had a bunch of figures that I didn't have issues with that other people did. But then again, I have a cover girl that has one arm that constantly falls off. So I definitely know that it's there. And DJ, I have seen you here. Like I said, I think the real question to ask is, where the hell are my dreadnoughts? They're coming. They are coming. But I do hope that, again, the toy kind of mood, I hope that they do ask some of the harder questions. And again, I don't want anyone drilled. I don't want anyone getting personal, but there's a lot of people that want to get personal. They want to, just bash them. I was told specifically I cannot answer the Hooded Cobra Commander. That was before I did the video, before I had found it. And I didn't just find that and do it. I remembered Bobby talking about it. And then it was confirmed. And then that article came out. And then Lorenzo Di Bonaventure specifically, he admitted that he's the reason why we're not getting it. Like, he's not even hiding by it. So, and no, to the guy who constantly goes around saying, "Oh, we're gonna get it," you don't think they're just gonna, give us that figure? Why wouldn't they? Why would they give us 3 other Cobra Commanders, including a Supreme Cobra Commander? Why would they change this Cobra Commander? Remember this one? The original one was a Hooded Cobra Commander. That's somewhere around here. I don't know. I actually have it in the box. The original one from Jada was hooded. They changed it when they did the Stinger. I mean, that's telling you something right there. Let's see. I told you Copperella Cobra Commander can't wear Pac-Man. You know what? I would be happier with that explanation than someone saying it looks like the Ku Klux Klan. Because once again, no one has ever said that. More people said it looks like a ghost from Pac-Man than it looks like the Ku Klux Klan. I need to really shave this, but it got to be like 80 degrees, and now we're back in the 40s. And I'm like, I'm not wearing a jacket. I don't care anymore. It was snow flooring today. Okay, that's me ranting and rambling. Lone Dragon says, my cover girl had a misaligned taint. Serpentor had a bent waist and accessories. And my first Cobra officer has a forearm that comes off a lot during posing. Yeah, so I can get my cover girl into pretty much any pose, but that arm I have to it comes off. I pretty much have to pose the arm, pop it back on. It sucks. It's annoying as hell. Ray Pass says, I want to say I've been lucky with my figures from the Joe line. My only bad figure was Breaker. He can't stand legs were so loose. So that was the one figure that I've just been a couple figures, but that was the one that I did contact Hasbro about because I had the exact same issue. I've complained about that with Vipers, and this is where I talked about like the Viper. So they did the Viper 2-pack. I'm sorry, the Viper 3-pack. Then they did the Python Viper, and they all have loose legs. So this is my issue. And you look at Valiverse and Bobby. I can say whatever I want. I can complain about how I think the figures are all the same. Well, they are the same. I'm not complaining. I'm pointing something out. But when he had issues, he went back and he corrected the issues. Now, I understand smaller companies, smaller lines, it's easier to do it. Hasbro's a corporation. There's probably so many different things. Try so many hoops that you have to go through. Where Bobby calls them up and says, hey, this needs to be fixed. I need this adjusted, right? No matter how you look at it, he does it, right? For the most part, things got fixed. Went happy with the plastic. People complained about it. It was too tight. It was hard. Boom. They went back and they fixed it. Hasbro continued and didn't fix anything. They didn't fix anything with the Snake Eyes wobbly legs. They are all wobbly. I don't care what anyone says. Version 2 Snake Eyes, which is the first Snake Eyes, has wobbly legs. Snake Eyes does. 3 Snake Eyes is it. Fortnite Snake Eyes and Timber Snake Eyes. I don't remember. Timber Snake Eyes? Because he has different boots. But his legs are still wobbly. Now, I don't have any issues with the first Timber one. But, so the video has already been recorded. It's done. They had to do it on Teams as well. So once again, this is not. So there is some knock on people that ask questions, but at the same time, Lenny, Emily, Tony, whoever is doing it, Dwight, and I will not say the Asian twins. I can't. Oh my god! I can't believe Tucker Art did that. Anyone on the team, it doesn't matter. It comes from the top. Like the top down from Hasbro says, okay, you have to ask for, what questions they're going to ask you, and there's certain questions that cannot be answered. That's a corporation thing. That is why it is nice when Bobby's on. He says, hey, you can ask me. We constantly hear Chris on the Full Force say to his weekly guest that he has, Brian Flynn, that he has to go back and he can't do it live, right? Does Brian Flynn do anything live? I don't think so. I think everything needs to be corrected, right? He wants things cut out. I've said Ramen Toys is all over the place. He's on every live stream, but this one. Dwight is on the Marvel team. Dwight is the head of the Marvel team. I'm just pointing out, like, the teams of whatever it is, they're told, and it'd be like this in any walk of life, any corporation structure. You're told, hey, you can answer these questions. You can't answer these questions. Hell, they don't let the President of the United States answer some questions. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a good chance he can't answer them, but that's a whole other issue. Let's see here. Matthew says, my deluxe Snake Eyes and second Timber Snake Eyes are awesome. My Commando versions are also good. They're awesome, but they're loose. Jeremy says, anytime a video is done with Hasbro employees that has to be sent to public relations, liaison to monitor, authorize, or posted to content creator may. Are you using voice to text, dude? Jerry, are you using voice to text? Please tell me you're using voice to text. I know I suck at reading, but man, oh man, I was all over. Hey, Toy Sorceress. Hey there, Punk with Toys. Wanted to pop in and say hi. Thanks for all the support. You're doing a wonderful job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Listen, I don't know if you heard, I told Michael, and I don't want to disparage when he was on with Larry, because again, wonderful, wonderful name. But I think that Michael just has a new pep in his step. Like, he's so much more talkative, energetic, and you are. And as I mentioned, I'm like, I want to say that she kind of laughs at her own jokes, but I'm sitting here laughing at my own jokes. I'm doing this all by myself. So there's one person that laughs at their jokes more than me. And it might just be Travis. Travis, I'm in a toy kind of mood. Isn't this about the time he popped up last week, Anthony, just out of nowhere? He just shows up. Let's do Travis Wrestling. Travis Wrestling. Travis Wrestling. Is he gonna show up? Anthony, also do not call me. I cannot be up till 2 o'clock in the morning tonight. All right? Anthony has this tendency to call me and be like, "Oh, I totally forgot that you're like 3 hours ahead of me." All right. Okay. Hey, listen. I made it. Listen, I made a Biden joke. No political jokes, because I think both sides are fucked. All right. So I don't want that. I've already had to have. I know Matthew's already told people before. I'll make quick little jabs or whatever, but I don't want to go down that road. Okay, guys, because it can really hurt the algorithm and everything. So okay. So anyway, I think that's about it that I had to say about. I think that's about it about what I had to say. I'm sure I'll think of something later on. Let's see here. So Viper Scout says there was a Cobra Commander that had a removable hood and helmet that would definitely look like Pac-Man Ghost. I know which one you're talking about. I have it. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah. Toy Source says you're too kind. And yes, Michael seems to have a blast. So happy I can be part of this wonderful community. Seriously, like, you guys are doing a wonderful job. And listen, I don't, and I'm going to say this, I should not talk at times. There's a lot of people in the toy community. A lot of good people. There's a lot of people I don't like listening to. I don't think that they're bad people. So when you hear me, I will specifically talk about people that I like. I talk about you guys. I talk about Geek Dead Life. I talk about Toy Kind of Mood. Although I don't think Bobby likes me. And I know they don't like my sick sense of humor. All right? I know they don't find that. Viper, I love Viper Island. My favorite. We can talk Bad Religion anytime you want. And American Jesus is their best song of all time. But I talk about a lot. There's a lot of other guys. They do a good job. They do a fine job. I just don't watch them. I'm sure they're nice people. I just don't care. I don't like hearing them, and I don't talk about them because there's a chance I could eventually be on a live stream with some of them, and I don't want them to think that I don't like them. I just don't really care to watch their streams. Anyway, again, I should not talk at times. But again, I'm pretty damn open about a lot of things. About my love for Viper Island, and I never talk about Viper. I'm sure right now the iPhone is listening, like, oh, this guy needs to hear more Viper Island. So I'm going to start populating like crazy on my YouTube feed. Danny says no Viper Island drama is not Viper. No. Listen, if you've seen the streams, I have specifically been the one that has pointed out that he has bought his subscribers. He rehashes stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, I don't do it. I don't do as many memes as, let's say, Chaz. But I definitely do a few memes that are insulting towards him. But again, the guy doesn't care. He bought a bunch of subscribers. And I pointed that out. I forget. There was a YouTuber that kind of did something. Where the hell is Chaz at? Iron Ken. I've told my story about Iron Ken before. So that's a guy that cannot speak English. And okay, the guy can't speak English, but I've said it before. When my Scarab, is it Scarab? Yeah, when my Scarab broke, the Valiverse Scarab hip broke, I had posted a picture of it. I had contacted Valiverse, which was Bobby at the time, wasn't a team. and that's when he was having a whole bunch of issues. And I just posted it in one of the forums that, hey, this happened to me too. And he posted that picture and used it as a thumbnail. And then in his video specifically said that, the guy that this happened to, he did everything that Valiverse said to do, heated up, and it still broke. And I called him out in his chat, and I said, that's my picture, and that is a flat out lie. That's not what I said. It literally broke as I opened it up, which is what Bobby had said. And all the guy ended up doing was a couple weeks later was hitting the little heart button on the comment. He didn't say, oh, sorry, dude, like nothing like that. Didn't remove it. So I'm sure if I went scrolling through his thousands and thousands of videos, I'd eventually find it. And it was before I started putting, a logo or my name on it or anything. As a matter of fact, I think it was before I even went by a Punk with Toys. I just went by my, my regular YouTube name. Because I take it back. He got it off of the Facebook group page, so he would have just had my name. But that guy's awful. He has. I don't know how that guy has so many followers or subscribers. I don't say followers, just subscribers. And again, it's just someone hitting the button. Doesn't mean people are actually listening to you. Doesn't mean people are actually watching you. That's where it really becomes. Yeah, between with Viper Island, I hate that we get on Viper Island and someone like Iron Ken. I think they're bad for the community. And Iron Ken's and he collects other things. Viper Island is bad for this community because someone that's getting into G.I. Joe or just starting to get into G.I. Joe. I've mentioned this before. A lot of the G.I. Joe fans are not toy fans. They're fans of the product of G.I. Joe. They don't care about Mythic Legions. They don't care about Gargoyles. They don't care about Motu. All they care about is G.I. Joe. Some of them have gravitated to Valiverse because it's the military line. I get that. But let's say all you care about is G.I. Joe. Now you're coming in and you're typing in on the YouTube search here, G.I. Joe classified, and Viper Island comes up. And if anyone has like the YouTube studio, you can go in there and you can look up, see what comes up. And he's populated everything because he constantly regurgitates his stuff. Well, people are watching it and they're thinking that's actually information, that's news, and it's not. And it's bad for the community. Again, I'm going to say it again. Mike Zero is bad for Star Wars. Although Kathleen Kennedy is also, but Mike Zero is great for content for me, just like Viper. Oh my gosh! Hold on, guys. Guess who's? Oh, you take care. You don't have to guess. Yeah, well, our radio says like Viper Island King of Rehashed videos. He does, and he removes videos that he doesn't want people to see. It's crazy. Like again, and I've said this about Viper Island before. The way the guy is in the industry. He could be really, really good for the community. The way he produces his videos, but the fact that he does not want to give anyone credit. I mean, even Carson from 3D Joe's, like he pretty much felt like Carson said, like he seemed. Roman, go outside. Oh, he's ridiculous. He literally will. That dog is going to lay with my daughter as soon as I get off here until I go to sleep. But now that I'm on here, he's like, hey, you know what? You got to see me. But like I said, the Viper Island could have been good for the community. The way he produces the stuff. He knows what he's doing in production. He also knows that he's grabbing a bunch of suckers. And he bought those followers. I'll say it again. I can't think of the name of the website. Matthew, if you remember the name of the website, go ahead and throw it up there. But you can look him up. You can look up any YouTuber. and you can see the fluctuations. Okay, I guarantee you that if I went there and I looked up toy habits, you would see an up and down spikes, right? You see up and down spikes of new users or new subscribers and new watch hours. You don't see a big spike and then down and then flatline. It doesn't work like that. You're growing an audience. You don't shoot up and grow an audience if you're doing content all the time and then flatline. At least you shouldn't, right? Let's see, Matthew says, Will Zero had the flash drive from the Lucasfilm parking lot 15 years ago and had all the latest news on it. If you guys don't know who Mike Zero is and you like Star Wars, you just have to go watch him. And there have been other YouTubers that have just kind of bashed him. I love Mike Zero because the guy is so he's so confident in his information. Like, you want to believe him. You're like, dude, this guy knows what he's talking about as he stands in front of his dartboard. And now all of a sudden he's really salty and very anti-Hasbro. Why the change of heart? Didn't get the free Hasbro gift box. Yeah, that's another thing about Viper Island. He's I will never, he's like all these other YouTubers that get free stuff, get free product. I would never accept it, but you accept it from your subscribers and the people that are your fans. I'm sorry. Like, if someone really wanted to send me something, maybe I would let them. I don't know. I've never had anyone really ask me, but I'm gonna feel less bad if Hasbro or Mattel or NECA is sending me free product than if Ray Paz here sends me something and I'm like, oh wow, I really don't like that. What I have to say I like about Viper Island, when I first found him, he was on Hasbro about the QC, pricing plus distribution. Then he starts on his negativity, big turnoff. Well, the thing was, he wasn't on them at all at the beginning. He was trying to get free product. He was trying to get in. Everything turned on him. A lot of people started turning on him, but a lot of things started turning on him when a Toy Kind of Mood called him out on every single platform. Because not only did he take their interview and say that it was his people, but he cropped them out. Like, they were both on this side, and he just cropped them out. I still think that's hilarious. I think it bothers Travis so much, but it makes me laugh. Lone Dragon says, a punk with toys have dead squirrel. I mean, present I'd like to send you. No. Did you hear my squirrel story earlier? Earlier today, Roman was outside and he was barking at the back patio step, and the recycling bin was right there, and I could see something was there, and I was scared of maybe a baby skunk. So I pushed him aside and I moved this, and this black squirrel jumped up and took off. He had it he had that thing trapped, probably scared shitless. There's probably a bunch of little shit all over there right now. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Viper Island has a solo Toy Kind of Move live interviews and crafted and claimed to be his own. I have not unsubbed, but he stole punk stuff also. Oh, did he? Oh, well, good for him. I didn't know he stole my stuff, but I don't watch his shit because it's garbage. I do watch Chaz's stuff because Chaz makes me laugh. NECA can please send me free product. Listen, anyone that wants to send me free products, more than welcome to any company. But I will not show for it. I will definitely keep that. I would say. Toy Sorcerer says, keep up the great work on the channel. And Michael is the best partner one could ask for. He rocks tonight. Have a great night. Thank you for joining in. It's good to see you, see Michael. I like the toy community. I like the people that I've, talked to behind the scenes for the most part. Haven't had any really bad interactions with people. I know some people don't really care for me, but that's going to happen when you speak your mind and you're honest about things. But sometimes you're honest and you don't. You just say what's going on. The Pavement Center says, I thought he blew up from streaming G.I. Joe, the animated movie as well. That's what a lot of people said. But here's what I have to say about that. If I was to play, I don't know, let's say the Transformers movie, people might watch it, but are people really going to subscribe? Here's a better one. Let's say I put the Rad movie on there. The Rad movie is probably as popular as the G.I. Joe movie, right? People may watch it, but are people really going to subscribe to the channel? I'm going to say no. When you look at the graph that I had shown, it just spikes. 2.7 thousand in like a week, and then another 1.9 thousand, and then he has like 900, and then it goes flatline. I don't believe it has anything to do with the movie. I'm sure he got some, but if you also look at his growth, they're also very consistent of like 400 growth, 400, 400, 200, 300, boom, right? Now, what was he doing that was so amazing that so many other YouTubers weren't? Nothing. He was lying about stuff. And so then you have this issue where it's like, all right, when you look it up, it's like he has no growth right now. And when he does have growth, it'll be like 100. Well, guess what? Go look up buying YouTube subscribers, and you're gonna find there's usually a specific number. Usually it's an even number. 80, 90, 100, right? That's what he's always doing. Viper Island said Roman was his oh my gosh. It kind of makes me laugh. Let's see here. It says he would talk crap about Artist of Shark, then turn around and posted the same stuff. He's hilarious because he's like, I don't do drama. And then he'd go into like 15 minutes of causing drama. Let's see, Juan Toys and Bricks. Sorry. YouTube never sent me the notification, leaving a like and going to sleep. Yeah, if anyone of the 40 people that are still watching right now, it's not for me. In general, you have to constantly go back and make sure that anyone that you might watch, especially live streams, you need to go in there and make sure that it is that it's still set to remind you, because YouTube has a tendency to first off, unsubscribe people, and they don't always push out the content, even if you have that bell notification on. So I have no idea how many people. I mean, I would love to see how many people sit there when I set it up to say, okay, well, here we have 20 people that said, hey, you know what, notify me, or 13 or whatever it is. I can't see that, but I do know for a fact that there's a lot of things that YouTube stops sending stuff out. Now, the other thing that it may happen is because I've seen you here numerous times. If you're not here all the time, YouTube will start thinking like, oh, you don't really like the channel, they'll stop showing it. And then they'll show you other stuff. There's a lot of people that I'm still subscribed to that I don't ever see, and I have to think about it. And then there'll be someone that their videos keep populating, and then I look and I'm like, oh I'm not even subscribed to it. It's just that I'm going. Subscribers, again, it is a badge of honor, but it doesn't really mean anything. When I was first getting into it, I'm like, well, if I have 1,000 subscribers, I should get at least 1,000 views on every video, right? Someone should watch it for 30 seconds, right? You would assume that. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that at all. Yes, I'm still waiting. Listen, if you find it, you let me know. I will send you the money. You can send me one. Just pick up 2. If I find it, I'll hit you up too. I'm sorry. Like that is the thing that sticks out in my mind. Dr. Mindbender with the Trouble Bubble, Target exclusive. he knows for a fact, good authority, it is in the Target system. Chaz said that was his first video he ever did. I wish I could weigh in on this topic, but I must remain silent. Hey, you know what? I don't even, see. This is when it goes off the rails, right? This is when it goes off the rails. This is where people tune in. They're like, all right, let's see what the hell he has to say. Listen, I said I would not go out of my way to start drama. That is a cheap pop. But I also will speak my mind on things that I feel. I try not to get personal. I have said before, I'm not a fan of Brian Flynn. I think he specifically lies about things and he says, I don't know. Oh, I don't. Hey, what am I supposed to do? That is being personal because I think he is personally being irresponsible for how he handles things. Now, as a person, I don't know how he is. I can only imagine. But when I see, Viper Island, I am a firm believer that he grabbed his son to use as the Captain America shield and thinking, well, people won't bag on me if I have my son doing it. Well, I will never bag on your son until he's an age of 18 because he doesn't deserve it. But Liam, is it? He's not Liam Neeson. Liam's not his son, all right? No, Dax is his son. I won't bag on the son because he has nothing to do with it. Wow, there's a lot of comments I missed here. You know what? I'll tell you what. So, when I'm done, it won't be tonight. It will be like tomorrow morning when I pull everything up. I always get to look and see how many comments. I can see how much the chat's going by, and I think this is going to be one of the bigger ones. Will R says, "I'll speak for you, Shark. Viper Island is a scumbag." There's only so much that can be said. I mean, I think most of the people have said it. Oh, Chaz has shown this. We start talking Viper Island, and Chaz shows up. We were just talking about our favorite YouTubers, and Viper Island came up, and we're like, hey, you know what? That Liam guy, amazing guy. He has insiders like no one else. His news is always top notch. I'll never forget when I was able to run out and grab that Satan. You remember how he knew that Satan Ninja was the Red Ninja from Super 7 Reaction? I mean, how else could anyone else have figured out that Satan Ninja would be the Red Ninja? And again, we were just talking about when we can finally get our Target exclusive Dr. Mindbender Trouble Bubble 2-pack. It's comical that he was able to get it when he doesn't have Targets in Canada. Let's see here. Wait, I watched my bride. Should I not now? You can watch whatever you want. Like, listen, I mean, I'm not going to, but I'm not going to stop you. Ray says no one will crap on you like that. I'll figure it out. Let's see. I gotcha. I paid attention to the inner dramas, so I don't know. Okay, so it's not even so much. It's again, I don't know, Super T, if you are like just a Joe fan or maybe a military line fan, but I mentioned, like I said, I keep mentioning how I think a lot of Joe fans they're not toy collector fans, and that's fine. I mean, hell, I go on these. I've noticed on these gargoyle pages, like people are just gargoyle fans, or it's amazing. Or the Motu, like they collect Motu. They don't really care about everything else. But he gives, in my opinion, poor information. I think he's bad for the community because people are tuning in, they're hearing what he has to say, when he's pushing it out like it's news and that it is, it's something that's real, when in actuality it's his opinion, and he's been caught in many lies. And when he is caught in a lie, he just deletes it. Which that also is the reason why you see, if you look at his stuff, you see a dip in his viewership or in his watch hours. It's not because, like, it took me a while to figure it out, but if you ever look at the chart where it shows someone's like watch time, if they have a negative, it means they deleted videos or they set them to private, which means all that watch hours becomes a negative because it counts again. It no longer counts for you, so it actually counts against you. So if you are trying to monetize and you're trying to get to 4,000 hours, and let's say you're sitting at 3,500, like 3,500 hours, you're trying to get to that 4,000, and you say, well, you know what? I got all the skateboarding on here. I'm doing toys. No one wants about skateboarding, and you delete, all the skateboard videos that you have, and let's say it's 1,000 hours. Well, you haven't hit that 4,000 hours, so guess what? Now instead of having 3,500 hours of watch time, you have 2,500. If you go look at his little line, you'll see that he has all these dips, and that's because he does stuff like that. Well, I don't know what this is. I have not read this. I just saw Arnold in Jingle All the Way. It's like what Arnold says in Jingle All the Way when it comes to classified drama. It's just a stupid doll. And I want to say, Matthew, I'm going to say this right now. Come Christmas time, we are doing Jingle All the Way. I'm punked with film. I absolutely love Jingle All the Way. I don't care what anyone says. That movie is absolutely hilarious. Arnold and Sinbad talk about having some really, really good chemistry together. Wow. So we still got 40 people here. Listen, it is the end. It's been 3 hours. I do have to work. It's now after midnight. I'm going to have to yell at my daughter, who's 14. She needs to go to sleep for school tomorrow. I do want to say, not this Thursday, but next Thursday. So you have all week and the weekend to jump on Punks on Film. Watch Revenge of the Nerds. That's what we're going to be talking about. I do simulcast it here and over on Punks on Film. I'm hoping to get more people over there because I like to build that channel up. I'm definitely going to try and do some more videos in between, talking maybe about different movies and TV shows. But this whole show in general takes up so much of my time, along with my kids and my own work and my dog. And I'd actually like to skateboard again, but my knees say you should never do that. The javelin scene, you know what? Again, it's been so long. It's been so long since I've seen the movie, and I wanted to watch it this weekend, and I did it. I do remember the javelin scene with the music, and I really remember it because we used to play. What was the video game that had all the Olympic sports? And you had the trackpad. Oh yeah, I can't remember, but they had the javelin throw in it. So I definitely remember that. Yeah, see, Artist Shark, he knows Turbo Man. And listen, I can't. I mean, I believe I can wait for Christmas because, again, I still got to get to Disney World with my kids. I still have toys. God, there's a lot of money that I got to get through, so I don't want to get to Christmas too quick. When we get to Christmas, Matthew, we are definitely going to be doing that movie. But anyway, I think it's I think we got to wrap it up. Like I said, I have to go to work. I love that we still have 38 people in here right now. If you haven't hit that like button, hit the like button. And hey, you know what? Listen, next week when you guys join again, make sure you I can't even talk. Make sure you share this out. Get more people in here. Again, I think we got a really good group of people, a lot of good regulars. I love seeing people like the Artist Shark, Toy Habits, Articulated Chad was here in the beginning. I love seeing that all of you, not only you guys, but the other YouTubers. It definitely shows that, hey, you know what? We are all kind of growing together, and I love that you guys have decided to spend your Monday with me. I remember when I asked if I'm going to do this, if I should do this for 3 hours. It was an overwhelming no, but we did it anyway. Just frankly, I don't care. It's like I don't know why I was even asking. I knew that was going to go 3 hours. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I really am this time. Thank you guys for joining. I will see you guys all, I'm sure, sometime during the week. And if not, then we will see you guys next Monday. Thanks for joining. I have another topic for next week. Or either be a whole bunch of G.I. Joe stuff that we can talk about. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. Talk to you guys later. I'm out.